You've got the look in your eyes. You're on a mission, burning ambition. You've got your eyes on the prize. You've gotta rise to the challenge. Show 'em what you got. Step up and take what's yours. You are kings now, Clash of Titans.
Hey everyone, Anthony here with Tornado Tag Podcast with the brandy new look. Not Cool in High School was a little bright, so I kind of dimmed it down a little bit.
Good?
He lit
Tornado Tag after
He lit the candle for the mood.
It was lit before, but the problem is...
It smells nice.
It does smell really nice. This is Loki and Layla Candle, the Boxer, the pumpkin pancake candle. They're going to be on the show in a couple weeks.
Are you being basic right now?
No, I just think it smells really good. I like it. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Yeah, they make great candles. They make
do.
amazing
They
candles.
The waxes are really good too. I have a whole bunch of waxes, but
Now, when you're done, do you take your waxes and maybe recast them into a different jar? And
no, I just throw the candle away.
Like a normal person?
Yeah.
You do some weird shit that nobody else does.
Did you make soaps out of them and sell them at auctions?
Yeah, I do. I make Fight Club soaps.
Yeah.
there you go.
That's like that show. It's
Yeah, but rule one is you can't talk about the soap.
yeah.
Yeah.
She's a paperclip collector, and her budget is $175,000 a year.
Oh yeah, like when they're remodeling their
Yeah.
houses. I was like, I want that job. But on the phone we have Adena Steele. I didn't get this one wrong.
Nice.
Hello.
Yeah, I butchered poor Fox last week.
Oh, my
I
God,
called him
yeah.
Vox Viner.
And
Vox
he let
Vinyl.
you hear about it, too.
Vox Vinyl. Yeah,
He let you hear about it, too.
As he should have. And then I got some shit in our chat for our unboxing video. When I say our Jungle Express instead of Jurassic Express.
Close enough.
I didn't give you shit. I was just like, you're saying it wrong.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Maybe you're thinking of the Jurassic Powers, which was Scott Norton and somebody I can't remember.
Yeah.
He definitely wasn't thinking of that.
At this point, I think we need a teleprompter for Tony.
Yeah, I need something.
And he's going to read everything off.
Listen, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I do a lot. So I have a lot in my mind, but that's still no excuse. I should definitely know the guest's name. I'm so sorry, Fox.
Although on the upside, it looks like Tony was in a Fight Club this week.
Yeah, I felt pretty bad. But anyway, we'll talk about that stuff later. So on the phone, Adena. So how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Awesome. Thank you so much for calling in. A lot of people are excited about this one.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Thanks for having me.
No problem.
Yeah, so first time I seen you was was PPW. That's pretty much mostly where I've seen you. You did one Outbreak show, right? Didn't you do one in Outbreak?
I've never made it there.
Oh,
Never
okay.
had it
I thought
work out.
they were gonna. Oh no, who was the one they booked for the female star Outbreak?
Oh,
I forget who it was.
There was Riley Crow, Izzy
Yeah.
McCoy.
That's what I thought.
It's
yeah.
pretty
Yeah,
much
she's
the only
the country
two
girl.
females. Yeah.
Yeah, she was.
It's tough, man. That's the big thing with a lot of the promotions now is they don't have as many female wrestlers.
Yeah.
Like the women's matches. It's just harder. I guess
That's why they wrestle
to find
guys?
them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think the only other female that worked in Outbreak besides those two is Jamie Senegal.
yeah. Well, they had that. What was her name? The girl who
that
was
a joke there.
who was the one that wrestled with the Samoan dude? He wore the mask.
Sammy Pandora.
Oh, yeah, his
Sammy
girlfriend,
Pandora.
yeah.
Yeah,
Pandora.
you have a history with that. We're not going to go there. We've discussed this already.
It was a great heckle. So Adena, I root for the heels. I'm a heel guy, except when it's
Okay.
Andy. I always go against Andy when he's
we
the heel.
heckle Andy, period.
Yeah, it's just because it's fun. But Adena Steele, who goes by Pandora's Box, was wrestling.
Adena Steele does not go by Pandora's
No,
Box.
I'm sorry. What's her? Not Adena Steele. What's her name?
Jesus
Sammy
Christ.
Pandora.
Pandora. All I know is the girl goes by
Christ.
Pandora. I was trying to say Adena. She goes by
Jesus.
Pandora. That's. But she's wrestling some girl. I don't know her name.
I don't know.
Sammy Pandora.
No,
No,
she
no,
was
no,
wrestling
the
a
other
different-
girl she was wrestling.
Debbie Kane.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, she's the shits.
Yeah. But so we started chanting "Break her box."
Break that
Oh.
box.
Yeah, which is
my.
hilarious,
Oh, my.
right? Like, so she gave her shattered dreams mid match.
Now, what
which
if, what if
was
Joey Ryan was
amazing,
wrestling her?
which was amazing. Like we kept chanting
What
"break
more
that
can you ask
box,"
for?
and she busted out of Shattered Dreams, which was like to me, she's my favorite wrestler of all time now, even though I don't remember her name, because she did that mid
What a
match.
fan.
Well, just
Yeah.
the Pandora part, obviously.
Yeah, it was great. I liked it.
Enough about that. We
Yeah.
got a guest on the phone.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Enough about boxes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you've been doing this for a little while now. How long have you been in the training process?
I want to say guess it's been about 2 years now since I started training.
Mm-hmm.
I had my first match like right about a year ago now.
Was that at PPW or Backbreakers?
No, Backbreakers. I had my first couple matches there.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I want to say I probably had like 3 or 4 there before I really started going anywhere else.
Yeah, I remember when you were training, you were reffing. You know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was on commentary.
With
a
blue
few
hair.
times. Yeah.
I was gonna say, did you have like the same look while you were ref?
No. I honestly, like my whole life, I've just played around with hair and my hair colors, and so while I was training, my hair was like purple or blue or green and all that. And then when I was gonna make the transition to actually have my first match and everything, when we were talking about the look I was going for and this and that like I don't know why I never clicked in my head. Oh, I might have to like actually commit to a hair color or change it. So
Yeah.
Did you worry at all about
came
being?
in.
Did you worry at all about being typecast as a ref or typecast as not a wrestler?
Sorry, what'd you say?
Did you worry at all about being typecast as not being a wrestler, being a ref, or being a personality or a manager or something like that?
I guess you never know like what route it's going to take. There's so many people that might go in it training to wrestle, but find they're actually really good at reffing or announcing or something else. So I wasn't necessarily like scared of that, but I wouldn't say I'm as passionate about doing those things. I definitely enjoy and get way more into the wrestling aspect of it than I do the other parts. So I was hoping that would be my little niche.
Mm-hmm.
And your first match was against, was it Squid? Like a guy, right?
Yeah, his name was Trevor Trudeau.
Okay.
It was actually both of our first matches. We started training around the same time, and there was 3 of us that debuted that night. So me and him, we're kind of similar in size, so we ended up facing each other.
He's not there anymore, is he?
No, he kind of evaporated.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can't.
disappeared.
I can kind of remember. For some reason, I thought you wrestled Squid. For some reason,
I personally love when I'm not a huge fan of when they don't like the bigger companies, but I liked it when men,
Intergender?
intergender matches. I hate the fact they get away from that because
Yeah.
they're good matches.
Yeah,
Who was it?
yeah,
Stan
I have
Styles?
a lot of fun with them.
Yes.
It doesn't always have to be like some. I don't. You want it to be like silly, like but you could still have a good match, and like I feel like it's fun for me because it's just something different. The kind of match I'm going to have with another woman is a little different than an intergender or a 3-way. So it kind of keeps you thinking, keeps the juices flowing.
Yeah, and
But yeah,
they always try to find a way to make it more like comical when it's a man versus a woman, which I don't like either.
I'm gonna hit her, no, I'm not.
Which is I like when they just go for it. Like
they're
when
equal wrestlers.
what matches
Yeah.
is
Tessa
over?
Blanchard and Sammy
Yeah.
Callahan.
Yeah, or what the one PPW when what's her name got super kicked by he just smoked her with a super kick.
Oh, Ali Rex got super kicked by Sean Carr.
Yeah, and I was just like, perfect. Like there was no build up. Like I'm gonna hit her. He just super kicked the hell out of her, and that was it.
Well,
Like,
I'm thinking
Right.
just of the match Adena was in back in, I think it was September, where it was a 6-person tag with Rhino and Fox
and
against.
she played like. I
Yeah,
don't
she
wanna
was,
say
she was
victim.
Ricky Morton. Yeah,
but she
was Ricky Morton.
Yeah,
That was a
she
hot
was-
tag, but it wasn't
yeah.
egregious or anything. It was just the way you would do it in the wrestling match.
And you didn't say, oh, because she's a woman. Like they didn't play into that.
yeah,
It was
either they
just-
do that or it's like pervert thing, like oh, I'm gonna touch her. And it's like
Yeah.
it's like
It's stupid.
And then you had Christina on the other side, and I'm pretty sure Christina nailed Fox with a big forearm and a power bomb.
Yeah. Which is that's the way you're going to do it, because here's the reason why, obviously we talked in the past of some of my favorites like Sean was tinier than most of the guys, and when he went out and beat a giant it looked believable. And then when you watch, I know it's a name unspeakable now, but Sexy Star and Lucha Underground, she was champion.
Fuck her.
And it looked believable because she was talented. Like the first episode when she gets smacked in the face with a chair by Chavo, like there was no, like they set the tone, like there's no division between men and women.
that's how Chikara always was.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I think that's something they should
And then
keep doing.
Lucha Underground kind of broke the mold there by letting Sexy Star become the world champion.
Impact may do that.
yeah,
I think
they're going to.
that'd
They are.
be the best bet for them to possibly draw more ratings. Is let's slap the belt on Tessa and let's see where it goes.
Did I posted about Tessa winning that #1 contenders? And dude, it got so much hate. People were like, "This is bullshit."
Yeah, there's them dudes that
like, dude,
they
come
can't
on,
stand
man.
a woman
You
in
live the
power.
past.
Just
Yeah.
like Wonder
So
Woman, Captain
stupid.
Marvel, they can't handle it.
Well, look at you have Callahan, who fought at the same PPW show that we were at, where he fought Cage. and Cheesefoot was sitting next to him and was like, this big dude should kill him. But halfway through the match, he's like, I believe it. That's what you should get.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Rey Mysterio probably shouldn't beat anybody. In
Yeah.
real
Rey
life,
Mysterio
you know.
probably should have never beat the Big Show in half the matches that they wrestled, but he beat him, I think, 3 out of 5 matches.
yeah, and I think that's a testament to you, Adena, that you can go in there and step in with guys that are much bigger, or and still make it look like a match that you're like, oh, I can root for her. She has a shot at this, and I think that's a testament to your ability.
Yeah, thank you. I think it's nice to be able to go in and, like, you're still trying. It's not like, because it's like you were saying, if you don't look at it as like, okay, we're equals, we're both wrestlers, you get either the guys not doing really anything to you. So it's like, oh, even if you do win, like, you didn't really win. They weren't giving you their best. They were kind of like, oh, it's a girl, I don't want to hit her. Or, so I think it's, I don't know, it's more enjoyable when you're treated like an equal than, like, trying to make it, like you said, a big joke or something like that. And because there are, like, a lot of companies that I will be at that really don't like it or don't want to do it. And, I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
cool, but I think it definitely, if done the right way, it has an audience and it's different. Instead of having, you only have, like, so many different matches you could put together on the card, but having something like that could add, like, a different flavor to it without having to make it boring or a big joke.
Yeah.
I agree.
What pisses me off with the WB is they're like, the men can't touch the women, but the women always hit the men.
Yeah.
And the reason they say they don't want to do it is
True.
because they don't want to promote domestic violence.
and yet-
You just did it.
Exactly.
And yet the women goes to throw a slap, the guy catches the arm, and the guy's like, am I going to do it? Am I going to do it? And then
kiss her.
the other woman slides
blows
the ring.
him.
Yeah. It's not even that. Like, say it's a mixed tag. The other girl slides the
comes
ring
in,
and is like, oh,
punches
wait.
her,
yeah.
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 And then game
Just-
over.
When you shy away from it and you just let it happen, you eliminate the shock factor and it just becomes boring.
Tell me this Rusev angle wouldn't be a lot better if it ended with Rusev kicking her in the face.
Yeah.
Macho
And put
kick.
her in
It
the
just-
good, whatever.
Yeah.
This went a little far, but okay.
Yep.
Now, kind of, I'm looking at Andy's shirt here. With Asuka, she's been known, I guess, in Japan to tell the talent in the back, like, don't take it easy on me, like, don't pull your punches, like, make it look believable. Have you ever had to have that conversation with talent?
I haven't, like, not as often in, situations where I'm having a match as in training. Like, especially when I first started training, a lot of the other trainees, I think it was weird because I was the only girl there at the time. I was, like, the second girl to even, like, go through the center. So they weren't used to, there weren't many other women in the area that felt like they were doing intergender matches or training with other females. So it was more so then when it was like, honestly, you're more likely to get hurt when they're more like not wanting to touch her or be weird about it. And, it's kind of like less safe for everybody. But over time, now everybody just treats me like an equal and will throw me around or whatever. And, we're not like afraid, like, oh my God, it's a girl. Like, what do I do?
Yeah. Give her a light body slam. Oh.
Yeah. Now, you said you were like the second girl to graduate from Backbreakers, right?
First.
Yes.
First or second?
I thought you were the first.
Or the second.
Okay. And then they just recently graduated a female student just recently.
Yep.
Which is
Yep.
awesome. Now-
Yeah, she's the third.
We have a listener on the show. She's 12 now, right? I think 12.
I'm pretty sure you have several photos with her as well.
Yes, she's a huge fan, and she's pretty much determined, even at this age, that she is going to be a wrestler. So, like, you're definitely someone she looks up to, and I even shared on Backbreaker. I said, hey, there's a third girl that graduated. Like, this is the place you go when you're 18 that you want to start training. Like,
Oh, yeah,
At
that's
the
really
True
cool.
show, she wanted a picture with you, but she was like afraid.
Yeah,
So
she
I
was
like-
terrified.
I was like, "Oh, just go ask her."
really?
She's nice.
even probably talking about this now, she's going to take a video of it later and share it to me of her crying that we're bringing her up.
Either that or she's going to hate us all.
No, she'll love it. She'll absolutely. She's such a sweet girl. She does so much for the show. She actually made a fan. I think you're probably a
Her
fan
fan
page.
page has more fans than the actual show has.
Yes, she makes a fan page for everyone she really enjoys. So I'm pretty sure if it's not already done, there's an Adena fan page on
She
Instagram.
posted her picture on her woman.
Oh, man, I'm going to have to look into
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Well, she made Andy Header has a fan page. Dame has a fan
Yeah.
page.
She has the women
and then
wrestling.
she has the Women of Wrestling fan page. And I think she showcased you a lot on there.
Oh, man,
Yeah.
I'll have to take a look. I did have, now that you mentioned it, I did have the Andy Header fan page follow me. And
That's
I'm
her.
like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, that's her. And then she made one for the podcast, like the Interviews with Everyday People fan page. So super
That's really
sweet
cool.
girl, and
She's really into it.
she's super obsessed at wrestling. And now, here's a question that maybe can relate to her because it's something that she's struggling with right now, especially with kids in her age and growing up and kind of getting picked on and bullied. She's kind of getting messed with for being a wrestling fan. Was that something that you had to overcome growing up?
Like a little bit, not to the sense of I would call it bullying by any means. But my friends would always bust me. Like, they'd be like, oh, Bree's got to watch wrestling. It's Monday or whatever day.
They just treat you like one of the guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would kind of make fun of me. Like, especially my friends that weren't into it. They'd be like, you really watch wrestling? I'm like, yeah, I know.
You get the classic quote, that's fake, right?
No, I feel so lucky because I'm a bit older. I'm around. I'm a little bit older, and I was in high school when the Attitude Era was in like full swing, and everybody just wanted to talk about wrestling. And if you knew a lot about it, you had like street cred.
Yeah, it was weird. Great. The year before that, they were making fun of me because I had a Razor Ramon shirt. And then the next year, there's an NWO shirt, and we're like, oh, that's a cool shirt. It was a complete change.
Yep.
Yeah.
What happened over the summer?
Not at Monte Area. If you were not a football player or a basketball player, and you were into wrestling or nerdy stuff,
I never got any credit for being a wrestling
yeah,
fan.
they did not like me at all.
People always
I would talk wrestling with the football players.
Yeah, no, not. I mean, there was a few undercover ones that would come up to me in class, like, "Yo, bro, how awesome was Raw?" I'm like, "You were just making fun of me last period with your buddies." Like,
Yeah, really.
I was one of like 5 people that had a school picture in an Austin 316
That's
shirt.
awesome.
The one kid in Poxel, they actually made him turn his Austin shirt inside out on picture day.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
One might have said whoop ass on it, though.
No. It was the Austin 316 shirt. They made him turn it
That's
inside out.
weird.
I don't know why.
I got detention one day for a suck it shirt.
Well,
Yep.
Okay, so
Little more
Andy might
examples.
know can attest to this a little bit. At Pottsville, they have the spirit stick during the pep rally.
it's so
Zach
dumb.
Campbell, right when DX came back, decided to do the crotch chop with the spirit stick. Needless to say, that was the last time that the students got to do the spirit stick.
Ew. Now, when did you actually get involved with wrestling and start watching it?
Oh, well, it's funny because like while you're saying that, I'm thinking, because I started watching it. I was pretty young, like I don't know, as long as I can remember, because my dad watched it, so I always would just kind of be there and watching it. But I remember like being little and like probably like just a 7, 10, I don't know, year old girl and like seeing the DX thing and like doing that suck it thing and like running around doing that, but I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah, no one did it first.
oh,
So
You're like,
you
"What?
weren't
You
just
can't
stumbling
do
on to
that."
wrestling. You actually had somebody influencing you into watching wrestling.
Yeah, like yeah, 'cause my mom, she worked like nights when I was younger, so I was always home with my dad and my sister, and she never really grew to watch it. But I don't know, I always like loved it as far back as I could remember. It was more like we watched more WCW a lot
All right.
when I was younger.
You just lost Tony as a fan.
Yeah.
who was like the first wrestler you
Because it's
remember seeing?
the first one I remember
Yeah.
seeing.
Or the first
It's
match.
always a good question. Mine was Hacksaw Jim Duggan of all people.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Hogan always sticks in my head. Like when I was younger, like I feel like he was just such a personality.
Yeah.
Like okay, I remember him for sure from like as far back as I can remember.
See, I want to ask the question, but I don't. I know it's not polite to do with a female, but I'm just trying to place
As
her.
long as it ain't pervy. I mean,
No, I was gonna say like your age. Like I want because I want to place her like when she like her age to like
well,
when she started
was
watching
DX,
and WCW.
roughly 7 to 10.
Yeah.
1994.
94
Let's
to
do Howard
98.
Stern math. 5. Okay, 6, 7. She's 512.
Yeah, nailed it.
And a half.
Adena, you don't look a
No,
day
I'm-
over 306.
Yeah, you look amazing.
Oh man.
Now, now is your dad now? Obviously, he got you into wrestling. What does he think about you doing it?
Actually, yeah, him and my mom both, they've come actually to a lot of shows.
To be honest, we sat behind your
Oh,
parents already, and they were
Your mom?
hilarious.
No, I don't. We met your mom at a show.
Okay.
We
Yeah.
were
She was there,
we
my
sat
dad was
behind her,
there.
and she was absolutely hilarious. She was like, "That's my daughter. She's gonna kick your ass."
Yeah,
Yeah, they get pretty into it.
yeah, it was awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, your mom was super. Yeah, we were floor seats for the one PPW show.
I want to say it was the Rhino match.
Yes, it was, and we were chatting. We won Steele, and then your mom turned around. She started high fiving us. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, that would be her.
Next thing you know, she's showing baby pictures.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
so
always
they're
have
super
this-
supportive.
Yeah, which that's really cool because I'm lucky for that. You don't see that with everybody. A lot of people, maybe their family thinks it's a waste of time, or especially if their family isn't into wrestling. Like my mom never was until I did it, but now she's like super into it. But I think it would probably be harder for people's family members that were never fans to begin with, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And because they even had that when I first started. We're like, so what do you plan on doing with this? Like, what's the point of this? And I don't even think they realize how much there is locally. You know what I mean? How many different companies and things within an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Because, especially like, my dad predominantly, he just watches like WWE, like the stereotypical fan. Like he's not, watching stuff online or catching up on this and that. Like he just knows what's on TV and that's that. So,
God, I wish I was that fan. The internet ruins too much sometimes.
Oh, he's funny though, because he's like he's exactly what they want from a fan. Like he buys into everything.
He loves Roman Reigns.
Probably planned. He's like, I don't know, like that. I don't think that was according to the plan. That wasn't right.
That is who they want to watch Raw and SmackDown.
You know what? As like I know the term mark gets thrown around and we all pick on each other with it, but it's. Man, when you become that deep as a fan, sometimes you're like, it ruins. You lose a little bit of that. Like it's kind of like when you, when you believe in Santa. Spoiler alert if people are watching, I
will still believe in
Santa. There's a 5-year-old watching this.
Spoiler alert, but it's just like you lose that charm to it. That's a piece of wrestling that once you lose, that you don't ever get that back, ever.
Yeah.
You can still be a super fan, but you lose that.
Yeah. It just seems like people. There's a lot of people like that that are super overly critical, and like it's like you're missing the point. Like just watch it and get into it and have fun. And you see some people like whether they're making comments or they always have to have the last word or give their opinion on things. And of course, no matter what, you could go anywhere and find errors or room for improvement or things maybe could have been done differently. But it's a show, it's an event. You're supposed to like go there to escape and have a good time. Like you don't need to be overly critical all the time of everything.
And there's still nothing
out of it.
There's still nothing better than that one moment when they get you, when you can suspend disbelief for a second. There's 100%. Nothing better than that.
Yeah, when you're like, oh shit.
Did they hit you for real that time?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
We were thinking about did that, like when you get that one kick and they place it perfectly with a slap and you're like, did that hit? Did that connect? Like,
or when you really buy a near fall or something like that. It's amazing.
Or your Strowman and you stiff Lesnar.
Yeah. That was legit. So growing up, who were some of your, if you had to give your like Mount Rushmore of wrestlers, who would it be?
Oh man, so I always loved Sting.
Boy, she's really rubbing you the wrong way already, Tony.
Yeah, Sting was not my favorite.
Dirty looks. Like all of DX, I was pretty into that. Like when the whole Attitude Era happened, I thought it was just fun because especially like I was so young. I was still in that phase of like, they were just like rebelling and everything was happening. You just kind of totally bought into it. It was like watching a soap opera for me as a kid. So, and they'd always push the limits. And when you're a kid, you find that stuff extra hilarious. So that whole time, I really, I feel like that kind of is what sucked me in. Even though it got away from that for a while, like, it's always like the nostalgia that keeps you going.
Yeah. Yeah, the Attitude Era has like, I think if I try to go back and watch old Attitude Era stuff now, and I don't like it.
I'm being honest. Matches are garbage.
I don't like it. The matches,
the main event.
Actually,
the undercard is usually
the undercards
shitty.
Are good.
Well, not when it's Truth Commission versus DOA.
No, but like when you get like an Al Snow versus Steven Richards.
Oh, some of them are.
And you're like, holy shit, they tore that mass up. Yeah. And then all they do for the rest of the show then is just
storylines.
Is storylines, but every storyline was.
The storyline's what sucked you in because the matches weren't that great, but you look back at those storylines, I could rifle off about a dozen storylines that are still burned into my brain from the Attitude Era.
Yeah, and none of them were probably good.
This is how I am, and maybe Andy is too with ECW. Especially now that the music's all edited out on the network, it's just,
it's not the same.
It's not the same.
Yeah. Well, for me, and I'm 100%. I'll be the first one to admit I hated diva wrestling, where it was like, oh, they're super hot, they're models,
nobody liked
they're
it.
Gonna wrestle in their bra and panties. That's and they're gonna go out, and then I got back into wrestling right as soon as Daniel Bryan and CM Punk left. Like they were the people that people sold me on to get back into wrestling.
Right.
I turned it on, and it was the last Royal Rumble they were both ever in. And I was like, all right, now what do I do? But from then on, I was like, holy shit, women's wrestling is fucking amazing. It's gotten so good, and sure, if you want to do the whole like, sure, they're super super pretty and attractive, but they're just as good in the ring. Like every now and then in the Attitude Era, you had one or two that stood out that were actually good in the ring. You had your Tori,
Jazz,
you had Jazz,
Molly Holly,
you had Molly Holly, you had Lita. Trish got better as she went on.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Totally.
But you had like the ones like Lita who stood out. Like now there's 1,000, there's 100 Litas in the world right now. You know what I mean?
Oh, they're
like,
all better than Lita.
Exactly.
I mean, if you look at that time frame, if I had to put a stamp on who probably was the best in-ring technician from that era, I'd have to go with Jazz. She just stood out to me as being one of the better technical wrestlers as a woman.
Ivory for me.
Jackie Moore.
That came from Glow and then moved up to and then she
Tina
was like
Ferrari.
in right to censor for a while.
Ooh.
She was just good. She was
was
good on the
good,
mic.
yeah.
She was good. Like she was the complete package at the time.
Yeah, Jackie Moore, who was, I think, beat like well before her time.
Are we talking about the Jackie who's
It's
boob-
Jacqueline. Okay,
Jacqueline.
yes, the black Jackie.
Yes.
For lack of a better
Yeah, the one who
term.
every Raw her boobs are falling out.
Yeah.
I think she was
super good though.
She was way ahead of her time, and I think as like the time moved on and she caught up, that's when like you started seeing your Litas, and then she tried to play catch up with the Litas, and that's when they started falling behind.
Yeah. And then they had that Attitude Era for a while, and then they turned away and went like, let's just get
Candice Michelle.
Yeah.
It was like Tori Wilson and Stacey Keebler like changed.
Yeah.
They're so hot, but they
Yeah.
suck. So they're like, oh, let's have Braun
And
Powell.
then you go
matches
from
every
the
week.
Attitude
It wasn't-
Era with those two into the PG era. and
Yeah, it
it's
just
like,
wasn't taken seriously.
How do we censor them?
And now the women on almost every channel are getting sometimes even the better storylines than the men, which is good. Yeah,
Like NXT, the women's division is
phenomenal
like it for me. Yeah,
it's the
so
best
good.
on the planet. The best on the planet. The NXT women division. Rhea Ripley, when her music hits, I legit get like,
She has
I'm
good
excited.
music.
Yeah, she has a great look. But
The only thing, I don't like that hair, but that's
I do.
That's me.
I do because it's different. No one else has it. No other woman on the planet has it. Like,
And I'm a big fan of Io Shirai. She is
I love
so
Io.
good.
yeah, 100%. Now, going into the look, you behind the curtain a little bit. There is another podcast that you were on with, I guess, one of your friends. She has a podcast and she's a cosmetologist, but you're also yourself are a cosmetologist, correct?
Oh, yes, I am.
So, how often do you play around with your look, saying like, maybe if I did this or that?
Every 20 minutes. It's so hard because, like I said before, when I actually started wrestling, I changed my hair all the time and this and that. Like, there was no reason not to. Because in my head, it was like, whatever. If I don't like it, I could change it. But I feel like now I kind of need to stick to a general outline of like the same thing. I can have a different hair color every time you see me, unless that was like part of the, the whole gimmick. But it's not, and I kind of want to still like establish who I am. And say you saw me and then you see me 6 months later, but I look like a different person. You might
That's
not
smart.
realize,
Yeah.
oh, that's the same chick. So it's like been forcing me to kind of not play around as much as I like. I've done my share, but with if anything, like what I've been doing recently that's helped me is literally just like different color lipsticks and stuff like that. Because I used to just wear like the dark silver, and I'm usually a baby face. So I'm like, I could do brighter colors. I could do stuff, and like just little things like that has helped me not get too bored.
Now,
When
here's
it comes
a
down
cool
to-
thing about your look and your gear that I'm a fan of. Even though you're still brand new, you have 2 color variants.
Yeah, and you know who made her gear?
Who's
Same
that?
person made mine, Gear Gal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love the gear. I love
It looks
how
great, doesn't it?
it's like to me it's like a comic book character.
That's why I told her she looked like a Flash bad guy, like
Yeah.
Phil Frost or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
she has the black variant and then the white variant. Like
yeah.
if you were to play a video game and you hit the button
Hey, that's-
and it's just black and white, like you as an indie, you have that already. Like starting off so young, you have 2 variants. Like
But once you beat the game, you unlock the
Yeah.
ult. The
yeah,
ult.
100%. Like you have the second skin, which is awesome.
I know, yeah, it's fun because I guess that's another way. It's like you could express yourself through that, but it's like if you want to be taken seriously, you have to look the part. As much
Yeah.
as you could do it and this and that. So I feel like it's one of those things. It's like it's almost like you hear people say when they open a business or something, like the first how many years you're going to take a loss, you have to invest and do all that, and that's kind of the same way I've been looking at it. Like, yeah, like getting custom gear and all that, it's expensive, and nobody. It's not the top of your to-do list, but like if you're going to be serious, it's what you have to do, or you're not going to look serious. And the next person that does, they're going to take your spot.
Yep. Tell me about it. I just dropped a lot of money on podcast equipment.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I know how it is. You spend $400
It's
and
good for the long run.
Yeah. Now, obviously, Adena Steele is the wrestling name. If you don't want to go into this, you don't have to. This is the question. How did you come up with that name? And then also you have your own little like hand, like the Adena Steele little hand gesture. How did that all come into play?
Well, the name was kind of a combination. My trainer, Justin Glory, like when we were meeting about, okay, you know, you're going to have your first match at this show, and we need to come up with a name, a look, whatever, all that. He said, he's like, you know, I've had an idea since you first started. And in my head, I'm like, oh, great, because I've only been thinking about this for how long, and I have no ideas. But, and he had the name Adena that he came up with. And I mulled it over, and I thought about it, and it just like, I feel like I'd stutter or I'd mess it up, or I don't feel like I could say that like often and confidently without like stumbling over it or something. And a lot of people, I would run it past them, and they kind of like, oh, what does that mean? Like, because it rhymes, they kept thinking it was a thing. So then I was like, well, what the hell am I gonna do? And like, I always, you know, have been into like sort of into like astrology and like the moon and things like that. So one day I was just bored, and I was like, I'm gonna just look up names of moons. Like maybe there's some cool, like bizarre name, and there wasn't, but there was one.
You'd be Luna.
Waning. Adena waning moon.
But there was one moon called Titania, which that made me think of titanium, and then that brought me to Steele, and I was like, Steele's like kind of, you know, it's like symbolically, you know, it's strong and what, like all that, and the color scheme works, and I just like was like, all right, Adena Steele. And then I started saying it to people, and it's funny because now like the Steele, even though it's like the last name, I feel like that's really taken over as, you know, what people will refer to me as. And even with the hand gesture, I think that was just like a boredom thing that I wanted. I'm like, oh, that makes an S, and like that was it.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
it's super cool.
People remember it.
Now, Adena, isn't that like Greek or Roman mythology?
Maybe Roman.
You're thinking Athena.
You're thinking of
But isn't Adena also like one of the sisters or cousins of one of them?
It might be
Not that I know.
Not that I know of. I know I've heard of Athena.
Yeah.
I don't know if Adena is.
It's
The
a
only thing I
cool-ass
could think
name.
of was Adena Howard, who was an R&B singer in the early 90s. But it was spelled differently.
Steele is much better than Adema.
Yeah.
'Cause I would have trouble saying that and like reverse your name. There's Adena. Like,
Yeah.
that's good. Good thing you changed.
Yeah,
it.
it's much easier to remember. Yeah.
If my medical background serves me correctly, I'm pretty sure an edema is something
It's
to
like
do
a
with
swelling, right?
It was also a shitty
Yeah.
new metal band with Korn's little brother.
Yeah. That's what someone told me. It was something to do with like a blood clot or swelling or something like that. I'm like, what? Oh, God, good thing I didn't do that.
And you can always say you're the granddaughter of Georgie Animal Steel.
There you go.
That would be a great gimmick of one day if you wanted to switch it up and come out with a doll
Start
green
eating
tongue.
turnbuckles.
She starts eating turnbuckles. I'm all in on that.
with the green mouth. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Now with the name and look as well. Now, does any of that look come like from your personal see when I see you in the ring, I feel like right up Andy's there. Like you're a huge heavy metal fan or a heavy music fan.
The tattoos give it away.
Yeah, like with the like is that something that you play into a little bit?
I wouldn't say as much like I don't feed as much off music with the look, but in normal life, like I do wear a lot of like black and gray. Like I'm not a very colorfully dressed person because I think I always did do so much with my hair and my makeup and playing around with that. And like we said, I'm a cosmetologist. I wear black to work every day. Like,
Yeah.
and like I like leather and stuff like that. So that's just like what I'm comfortable in. So, you know, I thought like using that, you know, in ring gear, it's like, you know, you want something different, obviously, than your everyday clothes, but something you're still gonna be comfortable and like yourself to an extent in. Not something super far fetched. So, yeah, I do feel like it is, you know, because I didn't want to do you know, it's hard with the black because my thing was, okay, I'm not like usually a super big heel, or, you know, you don't want to be the typical like all black, Hot Topic chic gimmick. So I was like, how do I do it and not look like everyone else? That's kind of why I went with like the more patent leather, like shiny finish to everything.
Yeah.
And it looks.
Just so it would be a little different.
Yeah, it looks like expensive.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. This is probably the worst analogy to it. But you wear dark. Your whole style is dark. But even like your variant, the white, even when you're in the all black, I guess because the hair, the platinum blonde hair, the tattoos, the colorful, like, you know,
Right.
you still come off as a very colorful character. Like, you don't appear as a heel. You still come off very, like, you're eye catching, like with your look, even though it's like, I guess because of the leather being shiny and stuff like that. So it doesn't come off dark. It's still,
know,
It
you're
just makes
yeah.
everything else show up more.
yeah, 100%.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, especially with like like how I've been playing with the lipsticks and the brighter hair and the the silver on the black. Like it's not as just.
And there's really no one else.
Sulky.
Like, I know Andy gets picked on all the time with it. Like, oh, here's Matt Hardy. You know what I mean? But like every single time someone comes to an indie show, they always try to compare somebody in the ring to TV.
Someone that's
There's
famous.
really no one that you fit that bill to. You're your own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely what I want because it's like, you hear this saying all the time, but you're never going to be someone else. Like you can't use me a second-rate like imitation. You want to be like, oh, it's that chick who's kind of like Dana Brooke but shittier. Like
Yeah, you don't want that.
or whoever you're trying to mimic your look
gym
after
your
or
gym
whatever.
ethic is probably Dana Brookus. you live in the gym. You work hard. You work really hard at it.
I do. I got pretty into the gym even before wrestling, which is I'm kind of lucky in that aspect. It wasn't like a lot of people start wrestling and realize, oh shit, I need to hit the gym. So
Yeah.
I had that before. It's good stress reliever. And
It helps with the look as well. Now, Dave is itching for a question here.
Now, I worked for Outbreak for a little bit, and I noticed this in the locker room a lot. Have you ever been so lost in thought thinking about your match or just have something on your mind that somebody's saying your physical name and you completely drown it out? And then somebody goes, Adena, and you snap back and, huh?
oh yeah, that happens in daily life. So many times it is like so deep in thought about this or that. Like, oh wait, were you trying to get my attention or whatever? But yeah, especially
Sometimes
like,
the
before a
gimmick
match,
just takes
sometimes
over.
How long did it take you to get used to people screaming Adena to you?
Oh God, it's that's a good question. I guess it was more so like getting used to it not being so bizarre.
Yeah.
Like being like they like that's not me. Like I kind of have to get into that mindset. Like yeah, that's who I am right now.
Have you ever
At first
did a whoopsie on an autograph and almost signed your physical name?
Oh,
Shoot name,
that
brother.
no, 'cause I kind of just I have it down like just the way I sign it.
Yeah.
But it sometimes like I have a hard time too, or like when you go to a show and you're introducing yourself to people, like I'll go to shake someone's hand and usually I'm like, oh hi, I'm Adena, nice to meet you. But sometimes it's like I feel like especially when I'm not in my gear yet and my makeup's not done, like I feel like I'm still just like regular me. So I'll be like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm my real name. And I'm like, oh, am I? Or and then I'll be like that awkward moment, like, well, also this is my name, but like this is my real name. But you can call me this. You can call me whatever. And then just like, oh, I'm
They're like, okay, and then they just at
like,
that
walk
point
away.
completely forget. There's that
yeah.
girl.
Yeah. I have that. I'm not even a wrestler, but it happens with me because I go on Facebook. It's Anthony. And I guess because of this, I've developed the name Anthony. And then people come up to Heidi and they're like, oh my God, how's Anthony doing? And she goes, who the fuck's Anthony? Because everyone just knows, like, it's either Blackwell or Tony.
Yeah.
So when people come up and like, oh, how's Anthony? You're like, who? You're like, oh yeah, that's
Anthony
yeah, that's me. So far, you said you've been a trainer for 2 years, which is kind of like a benchmark. I think a lot of people that we interviewed, I guess, did it for about 2 years, and then they got their first really experience. And a huge shout out to Backbreakers. A lot of amazing talent has come out of there.
Yeah.
But so far in your 2 years of training and then the year of you doing it, what are some moments or matches that stick out to you that you're really proud of, or that really you felt like were super big accomplishments?
I would say, I feel like everyone in its own way like was cool, whether it was like a new venue or a new opponent, new learning experience. But of course, the first match I ever had, that was like the one that's always going to stand out to me, I guess, as like I feel like it was almost like, of course you're nervous and all that beforehand, but the biggest thought I had was, you spend all this time training and all that, but like training is totally different than like when you go into the match. So I almost had this like fear of like, what if I have an actual match and like I hate this or something,
Don't
like,
fall
it's
getting into the ring.
Don't slip
don't
under the
fall.
ring running to the ring.
Rule number 1. But luckily, like after the match, I was like, oh man, that was like the most fun I ever had in my life, and I want to do it again.
That's
And,
good.
Did the crowd take to you right away your first match?
Oh, well, it's hard because like half the crowd was like friends or family, so they had to like me.
She's the
Yeah,
female
no,
version of Ian Bush.
Oh yeah, yeah. See, I'd be that one
it's a
family
tricky-
member friend. Boo!
Get out of the ring.
Outbreak, we go crazy for Header. We cheer him at PPW because he is a heel. We heckle him. Your gear sucks. We all love his gear, but we just and he loves rap music.
What if there was another fan? They'd be like, no, it doesn't.
When he wrestled Montague, it was Butter's gonna kill you.
Yeah, Butter's gonna kill you. We were chanting, and then we were chanting to your manager. Butter's really gonna kill you if you don't.
But seeing as how you've been doing this for 2 years now, what's the best piece of advice you've been given to by like a veteran that you might have looked up to that either came in or somebody that you've known for a while?
I feel like the most simple best advice that people will tell me is just stop thinking and just feel it. Because I think way too much, and sometimes you're not as much in the moment and as reactive to what's going on or paying attention to the crowd or just doing what needs to be done. You're so caught up in your head, and it's so simple, but it's hard to actually apply when you put pressure on yourself and be like, okay, this is what I want to do. I have to remember this and that, and then trying to find the balance between being in the moment and being where you're supposed to be, so to say. So I try, and it's every match. I feel like, I learn something new from and try to work on that and then start working on that and I find something new I have to work on. And it's a constant process of, all right, what do we need to fix here? What do we need to fix there?
Now, I did see online that you have a picture with some gold around your waist.
The Triple WA?
Yeah, Triple WA.
So are you still champion there?
Yes, I am.
How was that, winning the title? Getting told backstage, getting told that you're going to be the one going over that night.
Oh, man, it definitely was
Oh, you there?
Yeah.
Oh, we lost you for a second.
I'm here. It was because that was back in April, so I don't think I really even started wrestling outside of my training center till maybe February or March. So it was only one of my first matches. I think I wrestled there once before, and then so it was only one of my first maybe top 5 matches outside of my training center. And they're like, oh, you're gonna go over for the belt. I'm like, I'm what?
That'd be my initial reaction to be like, what?
Today?
Are you serious? Is this a joke? Are you punking me?
And the guy Dino that runs
Dino.
Triple WA, he didn't even want the girl to tell me, but she told me when we were going over stuff. He's like, it was supposed to be a surprise, and I'm like, oh, I would have had a panic attack. So I would have been like, oh no, I messed something up. I wasn't supposed to win.
You hear the 3 and you're like, what?
Weren't you supposed to kick out?
Yeah, right?
Who did you wrestle for that? Was it that the girl with the space gimmick? I forget her name.
No, it was Corinne Mink, the Golden Girl gimmick she had.
Okay.
She's a Golden Girl gimmick?
Well,
She brings out cheesecake and the whole 9.
Jesus.
That's awesome.
I have a feeling if it would have went over like a surprise, it would have been like the Montreal Screwdriver. It was like, put the title over here, get out of here.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's good practice, though.
I don't like that. Some places do that, and I don't like that. Tell people to finish.
Yeah. I think you should definitely.
Well, they did that with Robbie Radke. He
Yeah.
didn't know that night. Andy laid down, he took the 1, 2, 3, and Robbie's like, huh?
So I told him. So.
Oh, you did? They wanted you to. And you're like, no, I'm not doing that to this guy.
Yeah.
Robbie's great on the mic. Really
He is,
good on the mic. I like Robbie on the mic a lot. So you got your first match out of the way. You got a championship out of the way. Was Rhino your first time where you got to step in the ropes with someone who I guess you could say
name.
A
a
legend.
name? Yeah.
Well, the first time I actually ever was at PPW, I was tagging and I was in a match with Melina and Disco Inferno.
Oh, that's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
I was not that one.
So-
Yeah.
Gil Galberti.
That was cool. There was I think 10 people in that match. There was a lot going on, but that was cool. That was definitely a nerve-wracking experience because it was having those people in the match, and that was my first time working for that company. But it was fun. And
No
you realize-
disrespect to Melina or Disco Inferno, but Rhino's awesome.
Yeah.
Terry?
Yeah.
Hey, Disco worked for that match. He was doing some good stuff.
And Melina's
for Disco.
And Melina's on NWA Power now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love
Don't
both
mess
of
with
them.
Melina.
I love both of them, but I guess just Rhino has a spot in my heart.
Melina's splits are better than Rhino, and her splits alone were up there.
I love both of
They were
them.
Now, for the Impact show that you were on, you walked by us while we were standing outside freezing, but I'm assuming you sat in on the D-Lo training session?
I think he had to
Yeah.
pay for that. But.
Now, do you try and sit in on as many of those as possible to kind of pick their brains, or is it just hit and miss for you?
I try to, whenever I could make it, if it's, makes sense, like time-wise and where it's at. I enjoy going to seminars and trying to learn from different people, because everyone has different experiences, or, sometimes just the way someone says something or explains things, it might just help something click or remotivate you in a way. But I definitely try to do, them semi-frequently, as often as the opportunity comes up.
Mm-hmm.
And that was pretty cool because the whole thing, it was just like a Q&A, so we all kind of just like, we're just sitting around, like, being able to pick his brain, and, other people ask really good questions. So sometimes just hearing someone's experience perspective on things, because I have obviously so much still to learn. So when I hear people answer things so simply, I'm like, oh, wow, yeah, that makes sense. I just like overanalyze everything and make things too complicated.
Yeah, he did a great job running that show too. You could tell he was on the headset a lot of the night. He was definitely paying attention. Yeah, he was paying attention to everything. It was a great show. I liked during the meet and greet where you guys were kind of paired up with each Impact person, and it was fun to watch someone go through the line, and you were right next to
Talia
Valkyrie, and people were like, Adena, and I was like, that's awesome. Like, there's Impact champion, you know what I mean? And they're like, Adena Steele. Yeah. Like, I was like, good for her. That was so cool.
I know, it was cool because I was just doing it trying to help out. Like, I wasn't even doing it as Adena.
Yeah.
I was just doing it to help. And then I was just like, oh, I hope I don't get in trouble for this. Like,
yeah.
It's like, I'm not trying to, like, take away. Or something.
She was super nice, too.
You want to buy her 8x10s?
Yeah. She was really nice.
Now, did you get the opportunity to pick her brain while you were standing there with her?
Yeah. We chatted for a bit and just, asking them.
I was shocked how short Tessa is.
Right? It's
like,
crazy how, like, when you see people on TV that
she looks huge. She looks like she's larger than life when she's on TV.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
About 5 foot tall.
Yeah, but
it's all about how you project yourself. Yeah, she
but
does.
once she steps between those ropes, like, you've seen her walking around, which to this day I still think she had a limp, but maybe I'm just wrong. But she stepped in between those ropes, and you don't see her as 5. Like Alexa Bliss, you're like, okay, she's still tiny, but she's good.
Right.
But like Tessa steps between the ropes, and you're like, oh, she'll kill you.
And good for her now. She's engaged.
Yeah. Now,
poor dog.
I was going to say, Alexa.
That could be another behind the scene question here. You're
Tessa.
also kind of in a relationship with a worker, we'll say, right?
Kinda, he goes.
I am, yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Super talented.
And that poor guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He actually messaged me. I want to get one of his T-shirts, but I'm never at one of the shows that get one.
I could bring one for you one time.
Awesome. Yeah, that'll definitely help out. So how much
cool.
how much of it do you guys bounce off each other when you're working?
A decent amount, I would say. It's pretty cool because he's definitely been very helpful and has a lot more like time and like different perspectives on things than I have, and looks at things a lot more logically. So it's cool because even like he'll come with me sometimes to shows if he's booked on them or not, which is really sweet because it sucks like driving by yourself all the time.
Yeah,
and it'll help me if I have questions about a match or if I say something. Most of the time he'll like, why would you do that? That makes no sense. But I'm like, okay.
But you're open enough to give that to each other, which is good.
Yeah. Cause, like, I know, like, I don't know much. That's the point of like doing this and trying to keep learning. So I'd rather someone tell me like, oh, why don't you try this instead? This makes more sense. That's when I'm like, have those moments of like, oh yeah, you're right. But so yeah, there is a lot of like back and forth, or sometimes like the other day I had some ideas for different things I want to start trying. So when we were at the gym, like he would help me practice or teach me why don't you try doing it this way. So it definitely has its advantages. It was like I always said I wasn't gonna go that route, but kind of happened. And
never say, like CM Punk said, never say never.
And I was just about to ask that. Is he your guinea pig?
Well, yeah. You never know what's going to happen.
I mean, it's great because a lot of people, if they're dating someone, they don't understand wrestling. Like, well, you're gonna be gone all day.
Yeah.
Like, well, yeah, I got to drive there and be there, and they think you just go there.
All weekend.
The show starts at 7. I'll get there at 7. I'll wrestle. I'll be right home. It's like, no, it doesn't work.
Drive 14 hours to a show and then 14 hours back. I mean, I don't know what you want me to tell you.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah,
Well, that's
it's
awesome.
definitely,
I'm super happy for
I
you too.
think too, like with wrestling, it's such a different like lifestyle. Like
Mm-hmm.
you said, like you spend so much time in the gym and training, and like the weekends you're always gone. So it's cool to have that, like with someone who understands it and does the same thing. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so no one's like giving each other crap for like, oh, you really have to do that this day, and you really got to go here. It's like, you know how it works, and you know sometimes we go the same places, so that's even more convenient. But
All right.
definitely
Well,
has its perks.
do you have
Yeah.
any shows coming up that you want to plug or anything you want to get out there before we let you go? We kept you pretty long, which I appreciate. Thank you so much.
Oh no problem.
It goes quick.
I know. Yeah. We're already. Let's see. This weekend, I'm doing it's something in Jersey. It's like a birthday bonanza.
Oh,
It's
for that
named-
kid, yeah. Someone tagged me in that,
Yeah.
and I said, "Is this
Uh-huh.
real?" Because I thought it was a
It's
joke.
a real thing.
So
It's
then
a real thing.
I just ignored it. So I didn't. give
It's,
it
like,
a
it's
show.
not one of those custom shows. is
Yeah,
it?
yeah. Oh my god.
It's like a Saudi show.
No, 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 no.
It's for a kid's birthday.
The gimmick is, I guess they're,
dynasty.
they're running with a company, right? But they're letting the little kid pick all the wrestlers and booking the matches. He's
That's
like
awesome.
He's like 7 or 8 or 9.
That
somewhere
is
around there.
awesome.
So it's like Alex's birthday bonanza. And if I'd known it was legit,
Yeah.
maybe I would have said something. But
Yeah.
Header versus Steele. Here we go.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see
I'm not
that.
there, so
I can't wait to see the mask card so I can criticize it. Like, this little boy doesn't know what
yeah,
he's doing.
yeah.
You're a horrible booker.
And then he turned
And
around
he's
like, you know,
I'm 7.
he's better than Vince.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
There probably is people that are going to be at the show that criticize it too. You wait and see.
You can't have that many gimmick matches. This is an outlaw
the
mud
booker's
show.
a mark.
Yeah, he's 7. What else you got going on?
Let's see. Well, Backbreakers, they've been doing bigger shows. I don't know if you've ever been to any.
No,
of them, but-
I definitely want to make it a point to get to the next Backbreakers show.
Yeah. Well, the next one it's December 8th. It's actually on a Sunday.
That works.
So doors open at 2:30. It starts at 3.
Yeah,
They
earlier.
hold them now at the Falcons Nest in Mayfield.
Cool.
So it's like 10 minutes from the train.
My football
center.
team's
It's
terrible,
close.
so I'll miss a Sunday.
Hey, your
yeah.
tickets are
It's
$4
totally
this weekend, and you're not even going.
Yeah, I don't care.
And Adena,
That's bad. That's bad.
you do have merch, right? So if somebody goes to one of these shows, they can buy a T-shirt off you. And
She
this
has
is, right?
awesome
Yeah, I
t-shirts.
have T-shirts and 8x10s.
There you go.
She got the black t-shirt with the Adena Steele
Yeah, the
logo.
silver logo. So I googled the show is called Kid Carter's Birthday Bonanza, and then Pro Wrestling After Dark. So that is
Oh, boy.
November 24th. Yeah, H2O Wrestling Center in Williamstown, New Jersey, and the doors open at 7:00. The bell
Awesome.
time is at 8.
But thank you so much for your time, Adena. Anytime you have anything going on or you have anything else you want to talk about, you're more than welcome to come on. I truly, truly appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Yep.
No problem.
Everyone
Don't forget
check her
to
out
do
on
your
Facebook.
boss a solid and put over your salon, too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if he wants to blur the line. If you want to plug the salon, you can. I don't know if you want to blur those lines, though. It's up to you. I always try to be respectful. I don't
Yeah.
want to.
I don't know. I'll let that one slide for now.
All right.
That's fine. That's
Yeah,
fine. You don't want weirdos going to it.
Yeah. What was the podcast you were on with your friend? My bad.
Let's see.
Wah, wah, wah,
What was it
wah,
called?
wah.
It was
Kid Carter's birthday
like,
bash.
her name is Gia Mazur, Mazur. Forget like the actual title of the podcast, but she does them for.
I seen it.
The
and
Times.
it was like something and something. We'll plug it for you.
Yeah, I'll
there.
try to find it and
Yeah.
put it out there. But yeah, go follow her on Facebook and go see her at some local shows. I know PPW is a big one, but she's all over the place.
Yeah,
Backbreakers.
WWA.
Yep, and she's the
Craigtown.
champion now of that one. So definitely go check her out. Super, super nice.
Yeah.
Super nice. She's awesome to approach. And like I said, go buy some merch and help her out.
Thank you very much.
Not a problem. Have a great day.
See you later.
You too.
Ooh,
Bye.
don't want to. I almost stopped the recording.
Don't do
That wouldn't be good.
All right.
That's why we can't have nice things.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm stopping the camera and stuff. I'm fucking up. All right, I'm done. Just put it away.
All right, good.
Actually, I might have someone that wants to call in.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Fuck them. We ain't got no time.
Yeah.
Fuck 'em.
No,
This is Kid Carter.
Yeah,
I'm having a show. and I'm
you
booking
nailed it. You knew exactly.
I'm gonna talk to that motherfucker Tyler.
I'm the best booker ever.
Goddamn outlaw bullshit.
Goddamn.
What if he's like, I want to have the main event be a barbed wire explosion match with light tubes?
Like it's his birthday.
Yeah.
You gotta do it for the little boy. You got a blade.
Could you imagine? I want Andy to bleed.
I want blood.
We need higher buildings. I want a scaffold
Yeah.
match.
And better lights.
That'd be great.
Oh, boy.
So yeah, news-wise, I got some stuff I want. We can kind of talk over here before we get into the Raw, SmackDown, AEW, NXT Power, and Impact.
NXT Power.
Yeah, NXT Power.
Into the fire.
Yeah.
Speaking of NWA, Jim Cornette resigns from NWA Power. Says the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. What was the exact phrase?
I got it.
This guy is so...
I have it.
Yeah, go ahead.
So he says, Trevor Murdoch is so tough. He's the only guy who knows to strap a bucket of fried chicken to his back and ride a moped across the deserts of Ethiopia. So it's like...
And he can handle himself or something like that. Yeah.
He didn't mean to be racist, but obviously it comes off that way. I mean, like this is what I was saying to a couple people. If it was any other food, would people be upset? If he said strapped a turkey dinner to his back,
yeah, but
cheeseburger.
He would have never said that because he was going for chicken and black people.
No, I don't think he was.
I
think he was going for Ethiopians
because they're starving.
Yes,
I think it was a starving person joke and a food joke, but it doesn't matter. You don't say that.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Because if I listen to this podcast, he's not. He's very liberal.
He made.
You'd be surprised how liberal he is.
Apparently
for
made
being
the very same joke in like 1983.
filter.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's been saying that for. It's one of them things. Like he says.
So it's like, dude, it wasn't funny in 83.
I mean,
what the hell you?
Bobby the Brain had some ones that like if he said today, they'd be like, what?
Half of his stuff. Yeah,
the shit they would say about Tito
now,
Santana years ago. So
Bobby Heenan. Yeah, when there was an Asian jobber named Ricky Ataki, he said if you beat him, you wanted to wrestle him again an hour later. Yeah, you couldn't do that now.
Or you hit him hard enough, he learns English or
That
something.
was Santana. You hit him hard enough. The harder you hit him,
And he
he's
called
like a pull ball. Yeah, the harder you hit him, the more
Chico
English.
Santana and call him the jumping burrito and all that. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, there's just certain things you can't
but
do now.
Here's the thing that they should someone should have caught that. But there's only like 4 people working behind the stage, which is like Billy Corgan, David Lagana, Joe Cephas, and keep that.
My thing is, nobody watched it over and was like, "Oh, let's edit this part out."
They should have got that in post.
Yeah.
Isn't all their stuff taped week to week?
Yeah.
No, this stuff was all taped months ago.
This was taped like in September, I think.
Yeah, it's been months.
So you're telling me they've had it for over 2 months and nobody thought to just go over the...
Did no one watch? Maybe there's only 4 people. Maybe they just like
Maybe they're just
they weren't
like
paying attention.
That's Jim Cornette. It's old school. They're going for the old school look. That's something an old school guy would say.
Yeah,
But I don't think they would reprimand him then, unless I guess peer pressure. Like, now you got to be in trouble, Jim. It's like,
Plus, there was a thing with him and telling somebody to like kill themselves.
To kill themselves the week before.
People were giving him heat over the Justin Roberts thing, saying Justin Roberts like looked like a pedophile or something.
Yeah, he often says a lot of stuff. That
he
just has no filter.
Yeah.
It is
so they
what
said
it
that
is.
maybe it's like it's not just based on that comment, but what he might say in the future, and they want to take off. Like, what if he says something else that it's, you know.
I just don't. What are they going to do now? Because they already have like 2 weeks left of tapings. He's on those tapings.
Yeah, he has to be stand them. They're not going to delete the shows, and they shouldn't.
I guess what they're saying is he's going to resign, but he's going to finish out what you're going to see because supposedly they said there is a feel good moment with Jim and another and an undisclosed event, which is going to be Jim and the Rock and Roll Express.
Yeah.
Or the Midnight comes on.
I mean, if we go all the way back to Double or Nothing, I mean, that's where kind of this all started, where he kind of put his foot in his mouth, and now it just kind of came back to bite him in the ass.
For Double or Nothing?
Yeah, he said he made some comments about Sonny Kiss.
That was
a while back.
Yeah, I think that was before that.
Yeah.
And I mean, sometimes they take him out of context, but sometimes he just says them old school things.
Listen,
like, like your grandfather or something would say.
Somebody like there's like I think there's like a few Facebook friends of mine, and somebody just doesn't watch wrestling. She never watched a minute of wrestling. Or like that's such a grandpa thing to say.
Yeah.
Is what,
Dude, I literally was like to my black girlfriend. I was like, I'm going to say what he said, and you just tell me if you think it's racist. So I said it to her, and she was like, I don't think it's racist. I just think it's stupid. And I was like, right.
Yeah.
But
well, what he said, we're very pro Sonny Kiss here. We're very big fans, and she was he was just on TV, which is awesome. But what he said about Sonny was, you didn't understand it because it wasn't explained. It was just like, here comes someone that looks like they're a flamingo dancer from Vegas, and they're out there shaking. I thought that's what he said.
He just got off
their day job at the Tropicana.
Yeah, as a drag queen at the Tropicana or something.
Yeah,
something along those lines in that context.
But he was right in that they weren't explaining characters. Like, you didn't really understand who Jimmy Havoc was. Like, they still don't understand who half the girls are.
Right.
So, like, I get that part of it.
But he just
it's the way he comes
blew it
about
out of the water.
I think because people expect him to be a dick all the time, that when he does say something, you think he's coming being vicious.
Yeah.
I'm not defending Jim Cornette. I don't like him anyway. I've never been a Jim Cornette fan. I just don't like him.
Really.
He's a big mark.
Yeah,
he really is.
He
a mark
puts over who he wants to put over, and he'll basically give the time of day to somebody who he thinks is going to be that next person.
I just see him as someone that if he's not involved or wasn't involved, it's all trash, and everything he did was gold. Mm-hmm. He just comes off as a bitter old guy who doesn't like anything else unless he's involved in it.
Well, not really.
He has a vision of what wrestling is, and if it doesn't fall into that, then he doesn't like it.
This isn't 1970s, 1980s professional wrestling anymore. It's almost 2020, and sometimes you either have to learn to conform to your surroundings or get the hell out.
The sad part is him and Vince Russo have been going back and forth for 10 years trying to take credit for everything that happened in the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
Vince Russo's like, it was my idea. No, he wasn't there for that. It was me and Vince McMahon. And
they
so I was
hate
like,
each other.
Jesus
Someone
Christ.
said he's just waiting to see how he can blame Vince Russo for this firing. But we'll get past that.
So who do you think they get to do commentary for NWA? Because that pay-per-view is coming up.
No idea.
December 14th, I think it is.
Yeah.
I mean, like
You
I
got to
said,
really pull out the bucket.
Now, once again, I have not really watched anything yet with NWA Power. How often is Cole Cabana on matches?
A lot.
Is he?
He's
Yeah.
actually a national champion.
Yeah, he'll be wrestling on
Then
that
never
show.
mind, because that would be my first
They had him
go-to.
do
That's what I said
commentary
as well. I mean-
this past show, but he was doing commentary because he was involved with the
The
angle
feud.
after-
Like it was like, hey,
Cole
come down the
Cabana
top.
would be a great idea.
I think it'll be Dave. What's his
Dave
name?
Marquez.
Yeah, I think it'll be Dave
And
Marquez.
he'll just walk over and do
Yeah,
the thing.
I think so.
Yeah, that's what David Crockett
What
did
about-
in
Yeah.
NWA anyway.
I don't know much about if he's ever done commentary, but like if you want to get like an old school guy like Bill Apter.
Bill Apter, I don't know about
You wouldn't
that.
want Bill Apter on commentary.
No,
Maybe bring in Mike Tenay or Don West.
If you're going to bring back an old
Mike
school guy
Tenay
like
would
that,
be a good
he
get.
would be.
Yeah,
I don't
Mike
know
Tenay
if
would be
he
cool.
hasn't done anything in years.
Yeah.
He got to be up there in age, but no older than Jim Cornette.
The one I was thinking, because I think he did the Shivani roast, so he's kind of tangentially involved in wrestling. He hasn't commentated in forever, but I think he's out of Atlanta. Would be Scott Hudson from WCW.
Yeah, at the end, he was
That's not a bad
good.
choice either.
He was good.
Did you guys actually see? Remember we were talking about in the chat about Tony Khan leaving the
Yeah,
Apparently-
Leaving the roast.
Apparently that
Yeah,
wasn't true.
apparently wasn't true, yeah.
Conrad Thompson said he was just coming up there to make an appearance, and he was eating dinner with a bunch of people downstairs. He just came in to say hi.
It is a good line though, but if you're going to a roast to Tony Schiavone, that's probably pretty foul. So
yeah.
you're not leaving there without getting roasted.
and then Randy Orton gave his own roast to Tony Khan later,
He goes, if I want to talk
calling
business,
him Jacksonville Dixie, which
Yeah,
is
that
a
was
great
great.
line.
and then he said, if I want to talk business, I'll talk to your dad.
to your dad, yeah.
But I mean, Tenay's not a bad bet. Don West,
Dutch Mantel.
Dutch
Could be.
Mantel, he'd fit in perfectly there for the style.
Did Mike get? Someone said Austin Idol.
I thought maybe Austin Idol, but I don't know if he's everyday commentary.
Yeah.
He was a great promo guy, but
Bob Cottle's too old. That'd be good if he was younger.
yeah,
NWA guy.
Let's get Tony Atlas.
Corey
God.
Macklin maybe. Bring in Corey Macklin.
John Madden. Here's a guy.
Mark Matt. Oh, I thought
You
Mark
get
Matt
John
was
Madden
great.
with the teleprompter, like, here's what he did here, drawing the lines all over the place.
Here's if he would have just ducked this clothesline, bang, you would have won.
Let me tell you about Brett Favre. Brett Favre right now.
Here's a guy that Troy Aikman. Here's a guy when he puts his contacts in, he can see better. That was.
Oh, and Troy Aikman takes a clothesline with a concussion. He's out for the rest of the year.
But speaking of kind of behind the scenes and stuff going on,
ACH got released.
yeah, and then
That didn't take long.
He's doing bookings already.
Yeah, he's working tomorrow night. I think in like Houston.
Yeah.
So what happened to the old we're releasing you? You get the 90-day.
I'm not
no
even.
compete.
We're not even gonna get into this guy.
Oh no, I'm just saying. Usually you get released like that. You get that 90-day.
I think they just went to cut ties.
Yeah,
because,
they
like,
just were like, get out of here.
They're like,
dude,
have
enough.
fun.
Yeah.
Go do your revolution.
Even with the 90-day thing, I think for a lot of people,
you could do indie.
You could do indies. You can't just
you
do
could
another
do
big con.
you
yeah.
could do indies if you waived your downside like guarantee. You would get paid for those 90 days, and you could waive it and say I'm going to wrestle. But a lot of people, as long as it wasn't on TV, but a lot of people just said no. I'll just sit home and get paid.
why
for
wouldn't
3
you?
months.
Yeah.
So WWE backstage first episode with CM Punk. I didn't watch the full thing, but I watched segments here and there. So I was very pro Renee when she was with Corey Graves. I thought they were doing great stuff on commentary. I like her. I think I like a lot of her stuff that she does when she's on social media. I think she's very personable. I think she's
I
good
like
at what
Renee.
I think she's good at what she does. I think her and CM Punk are a great team. I think that's a match made in heaven, and I think the fact that they can both say what they want.
I think Renee's a little bit under the. She can't say exactly.
Well, I think
what she
it
wants.
goes exactly how Punk worded it. He works for Fox, not the WWE. And Punk's going to be Punk, and he didn't really hold back on what he had to say during the course of the show. And I think it made for a better show because he wasn't afraid to say, okay,
and
well,
Renee still
this
toes the line when he goes, well, what member of the Shield's your favorite?
Yeah.
And she goes, I like them all. And
She's like, I like them all equally.
Like,
Yeah,
that's funny. That's,
but it's like I like that dynamic with you. Like her and Corey were starting to do that, where they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, what's going on with your guy?" And she's like, "I don't know what you're talking about."
In
Like,
the first week of that show, she admitted on air that she didn't like doing commentary. She hated it.
Really?
So I was like, good for her then. If she doesn't like doing it, this is definitely more her speed.
Yeah.
They
I
put
mean,
her
Gene.
on there
Yeah.
as kind of like that branch out to say, yes, we have a woman commentator as well. Kind of like how they were splitting it up when they put Byron Saxton on the first time saying, "Oh, well, we don't have any colored commentators like with Booker T and this, that, and the other," and that's how they're trying to like play to the crowd, like, "Oh, you don't have women doing this. Oh, you don't have a colored commentator."
Oh, look, we have one girl, we have one black guy. See how great we are. Like,
Yeah.
And now you got a British guy, Dio Madden, and an old ass Jerry Lawler.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been on since Brock Lesnar.
Really?
No.
Oh, wow.
Samoa
That's
Joe
a
was,
shame.
yeah.
He wasn't bad.
And I like
Joe was really good
I like
this week,
Dio
too.
Madden. I think with Dio coming from NXT and knowing everybody and
What if Dio secretly like getting some training in and he's gonna,
Well, he was wrestling.
and
Yeah,
he's
he
gonna
was
show,
wrestling.
He's gonna show up and be like, "F that, I'm a wrestler now."
Maybe.
I'd
wouldn't
watch him.
mind
He's
it.
fucking huge.
whatever.
They had that one guy commentating. He was awful.
Yeah.
But for him having the background and
Pat
knowing what's
McAfee.
going on, I think it was great.
Yeah. But going back to backstage,
Pat McAfee.
I hated him on commentary. I thought
He
it was
wasn't a
terrible.
good WWE commentator, but it's which is weird because his podcast is hilarious.
Really?
Yeah, he's really
If
funny.
he's very knowledgeable on.
Well,
on
it's weird. You could be a great talker, but be bad at commentary.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
It's not
he's-
for everybody.
He was more funny when he sat in for the SmackDown show when the NXT invaded.
No, I thought he was terrible.
I thought he was funny. He entertained
I thought
me.
he was all right.
Well,
Yeah.
the way he was wording is like, "Oh, Triple H called me personally and invited me down here to do this show."
And he probably did.
Yeah.
I thought Aiden English before him was awful.
I didn't think he was good either. I hated
English on
English on
commentary.
commentary.
What are they doing with him? Is he
Nothing.
just a
There-
glorified
there's a
commentator?
guy
Five
that
Live, yeah.
just release him. You know, like
He could wrestle too.
I
He
think
can
he's
go.
like what we always say. I think he's a guy who just likes to collect a paycheck.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
Like,
He wasn't bad in the ring either. I mean, he
wasn't.
had a good functionality in there.
Real quick, so backstage, this is my just seeing that first episode and the build up. This show has some serious potential. I think if you're a wrestling fan, and I think if backstage gets to the point where they start talking, because they're not just talking WWE, they're talking all wrestling. Like this is becoming a show where like they talk. Like, will they talk about AEW? Maybe.
I'm
Like,
gonna say no.
I'm going to say no.
well, they
but-
said that they're not holding back.
Yeah,
They're-
so does Corey about his podcast
because
and he
they
holds
even
back.
said Renee said that she has no interest of giving Jim Cornette a platform.
Okay, well,
So that's even
yeah.
saying that that's a possibility. They may even talk about NWA Power.
that Cornette Bridge was burned a long time ago.
But I'm saying you don't know what that like, especially with Punk kind of being there.
This is still a WWE show, so
It is.
It's not going to be like a Conrad podcast.
But with Punk being there, you don't know.
With Punk, yeah, but apparently
may,
he's not there every episode.
Yeah, he's not going to be there every week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he may turn around one week and be like, "All right, so they just did their pay per view to just see what they did on
Yeah.
pay per view, and then this is what you put out."
Yeah,
Like,
I hope he does.
You know what I mean?
And
Like,
I think that's where Punk gets away with it, though, because he works for Fox. He can say
Yeah,
whatever he
like,
wants.
Renee's
And
not
you-
going to say,
listen, yeah.
"Whoa, that was a banger AEW pay per view."
Yeah.
See my
Yeah.
husband? No, that ain't going to happen.
Here's the thing.
Yeah,
That
Punk's
whole
not worried about the
I work-
blowback. That's the
I
big
work
difference.
for Fox thing. He does.
Yeah, but he
if
will
you
wrestle.
don't think that if he walks out and says Vince McMahon can suck my cock, he won't be fired because he works
Yeah,
for
yeah,
Fox.
yeah, yeah.
No, he still works. He may work for Fox, and that may be his angle that he's rolling with because he's anti-establishment. He's still under WWE's
Well,
thumb.
he said the same thing on Colin Howard's show yesterday. He's like, "Listen,
I'm
not
affiliated
I'm
with
not,
WWE.
I'm not going to just bury WWE. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm still business partners with them pretty much. Like, I'm WWE adjacent, so I can't just go on there and just bury them all the time. But I have to say, like the truth, if it's bad, it's bad. If it's good, it's good.
Like,
you know?
like with
if
the
he's not on
Roman
there,
dog
if
stuff.
he's not on there every week, that's a mistake.
yeah, he's not going to be, which
yeah,
sucks.
Yeah.
Because I think if he's on there every week, that show
Give it
on a
ratings,
Tuesday
yeah.
night, oh, that's tough not
it's
to watch.
It's a hard show to watch at 11 o'clock on a Tuesday. Like,
I wouldn't mind seeing him like every other week, every other 2 weeks, though, because when he comes in, he's going to have fresh arguments. He's going to have fresh stuff to say. It's not going to be him every week just arguing the same stuff that happens every week.
Yeah.
You give him a couple weeks, let him rack his brain, let him do his thing, and
I just think that show has tons of potential.
but he said something about like he didn't like the stupid stuffed dog costume thing. But
Yeah, the Baron Corbin
yeah,
thing,
and
he
then
hated
Paige
it.
was like, "Oh, well, you can't say that." Like you can
No,
tell.
it was funny because he actually got her to agree with that. He's like,
Yeah.
that was horrible. He's like, right, Paige? And she's
Yeah.
like, right. And Paige
Yeah.
is like, you're going to get me in trouble.
yeah,
He's like,
yeah. So like you tell, like they're afraid that everyone in WWE's afraid to lose
But
their job.
I think that's where I think the fans will like they'll give that love to those people that come on there and they're being honest.
no, they tell the truth, yeah.
Corey Graves' podcast is great because he's fucking honest. He's like, because realistically, Vince isn't listening to the fucking that podcast.
No, he's not going.
And Vince isn't watching
he
backstage.
has cronies watching it.
Yeah,
They
right.
say, Vince, they said this. you
yeah.
know?
and
But-
Vince is like, "So I heard you said this."
Yeah.
And I'd be like, yeah, I did. Your shit sucks. Fix it. That we're saying what your fans are saying
No
because
one's,
you
no one's
because-
saying that to Vince.
No,
because
yeah,
you
they're not.
because you refuse to listen to them.
Yeah.
Put your daughter and your son-in-law in charge and watch how your ratings go through the roof again.
Yeah. But yeah, I think WWE set backstage has tons of potential. We are going. We're not. We're doing all right.
We're only about the hour and a half, 2 hour mark.
No, we're only about an hour and 7 minutes.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, we're doing really well.
What time do we start? I could have sworn we started right about 8:30.
9.
We're an hour and 7 minutes in, so that's good. So SmackDown last week. All right, so the invasion angles. We'll just kind of roll it up in this.
It got real stale real quick.
It's fun, but it's the same shit we see every SmackDown or every Survivor Series, where all of a sudden one guy's like, "I fucking hate I hate this shit," and then the next
I
week
was
he's
just
like,
there 2 weeks ago, but don't worry about that.
and then the next week he's like, "Look at my Raw shirt. I am so loyal to this right now," and then next week he's like, "Fuck Raw." You know what I mean? Like it just doesn't. It doesn't click.
There's no stakes because it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Not only that, but look at last year's event. Last year's event, SmackDown went 0-7 because they didn't count the pre-show match.
Yeah.
So like, why the hell would you take SmackDown seriously if you were either one of the brands?
Yeah.
I'd be like, these fucking losers. Oh, great, we have to fucking play the JV team. You know what I mean? Like, who gives a
At
shit?
least NXT could be like, we want to be equals.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the only thing that makes this angle better is the NXT.
Yeah,
that's the only thing.
without it.
I honestly, to me, we've gotten dream matches the past couple weeks, which were really good. The problem is like
Stupid finishes.
You get a couple matches where you're like, oh, you got a satisfying finish out of it, like Ciampa beating like Miz, and then like and Daniel Bryan losing the
Cole,
clean.
yeah.
But then you're like, oh, you're gonna put Becky in the ring. That's not gonna be clean. Oh, you're getting Seth in the ring. Just cue it up on clock. Here comes the run in.
Yeah.
Are they that precious to you that they can't take a loss?
Yeah.
That's stupid to me. It's annoying. Like the Rhea Ripley thing pissed me off at first, but then I thought about it. I don't think she has a clean win on TV yet. So for her to go out there and lose again,
Wait, are we talking main roster or actual?
she hasn't had a clean win. She lost.
I think she beat a couple people.
But since she's debuted on NXT,
regular NXT,
she has not had a clean win since the Bianca Belair.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yes.
Well, I mean, she beat Tony Storm clean.
My whole thing is, man, is they had her lose in that 8-man tag match on SmackDown, and that was so stupid. They had the NXT girls lose to the SmackDown girls. Like, why even have that match already? Like that.
Yeah.
That was so
and
dumb.
if you're a SmackDown fan, on NXT, be like, oh, well, they're going to beat them. They're losers.
The way WWE books, they usually if you lose leading up to the pay per view, you're winning on the pay per view.
Yeah.
So maybe the NXT women are winning that Survivor Series.
I'm
match.
just curious to see how they're going to do this because you're not going to bury NXT between Raw and SmackDown, and you're definitely not going to do the 0-7 angle again. It's going to be interesting.
I'm starting to think they might.
Yeah, don't be
that's the whole-
surprised.
I'm thinking
I wouldn't be
NXT might
surprised.
sweep it.
The 0-7 SmackDown angle they did last year was only supposed to be. It was supposed to lead into a story. It was going to lead into a story of Shane going crazy and turning heel, and just like snapping out that they all lost, that they're all a bunch of losers.
Well, Shane did go crazy and turn heel,
but they did it only through like Kevin Owens. They didn't do it because they lost. Like, the next week on SmackDown, nothing happened. The week before, he told them, "If you lose, I'm firing whoever loses." And everybody lost. The next week, they act like it never happened.
Yeah.
They just were like, I was like, "What the fuck was the point of this?"
That's the biggest problem with WWE is they act like you don't remember what they said they were going to do.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
comes
Week to
right from
week.
Vince.
Yeah.
and yet it's on YouTube. Like all you got to do is Google it or YouTube.
Most
and
fans
it's
remember
right
it.
there.
The angles, like I said, I don't want to bury it and say it was all awful because I did see some matches that I didn't think I was going to see at this point in time that I was excited to see. I'm sorry for me at this point. You put Becky in the ring on a Raw and SmackDown, you might as well just change the channel because you're going to see the same safe match, and you're going to see them either if they lose, it's because it's a run-in, or they win because it's a run-in, or they beat them completely clean. Like you can almost set your watch like Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch are not going to lose clean on TV. You can set your watch to it. It's like, their match is on. It's like Roman Reigns back in the day. I'm turning it off because it's pointless for me to see.
They're overprotected right now.
Yeah, they're super over, and that's where you're like, oh my god, they're like, even if they put a barn burner on, like Adam Cole. Obviously, Adam Cole's not going to lose on NXT right away, but you're watching a match like, holy fucking shit, like this was awesome. You don't have that same feeling with them.
So
And
what
it's interesting
happens
'cause it
Sunday
might be
night
time.
if Shayna Baszler chokes out Becky Lynch? How do you recover from that?
You don't. That's awesome. That's what you need.
You need that. I don't want to call it drama, but you need that sense of the man just got owned. Mm-hmm. You need something to throw a curveball in there to get the fans sucked back into Monday night.
That makes Shayna Baszler the next big hot commodity.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to do.
But probably Bailey will pin Shayna.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. Let's look at this past week in WWE. the best match probably came last night in that tag team match between
For
Undisputed
sure,
Era and
not
the
even
Revival.
close.
Yeah.
Which sucks because Raw had some good matches, but they all had shitty finishes. Like Owens and McIntyre was fantastic. They were beating the shit out of each other.
Becky and Rhea was a good match until the
Was
run.
it real fast? Because I watched the 1 hour
Yeah.
Hulu version, and the match was like real. It felt like it was 3 minutes.
Yeah, it was. They,
it was
they,
fast,
they
but as
chop
soon
it.
as she came out, as soon as her music hit, I was like, "This match isn't ending clean." Because Rhea can't afford a loss right there. Because then it's like, well, why do we even believe that her team could beat Blazer's team? She just lost to Becky clean,
Yeah.
you know. So like, I knew it was
The
a
good
run-in.
thing about that run-in, though, is here's what NXT did that I'll give them a lot of credit for. They had the run-in, right? Then, like, even with the men's run, like, Matt Riddle, Ricochet's match was fucking awesome. Even though it ended in another DQ.
No,
if
there
you-
was a finish.
No,
It
that was
just-
a finish, but it was
interference.
because of the
Yeah,
interference.
but I mean, it was a good match. Like, both matches were good up until the run-in.
Yeah.
But what I'll give them super credit for that I don't think a Raw or SmackDown would have been able to pull off is they brought back NXT people to be the run-ins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
They were
made it
all
better
NXT people.
because people were like, "Oh my God, they're back!" And this is why I say, like, man, I don't know if I'm NXT if I take my show on the road, is because that Full Sail crowd is so smart. They're a smart crowd, and they put your product over the top.
Yeah.
Becky comes out, she's the biggest person on the planet. Rhea comes out, that crowd's like, "Fuck, Rhea's our girl now. Rhea's gonna kill," like, you know. And then half the crowds conflicted with each other, and it was legitimately, that's pro wrestling. Amazing. That Full Sail crowd, I will give them their respect all day long. Then the run-in happens. You're like, "Oh my God, we got Cesaro and Shinsuke back," and then we're like, "But wait, that's against our boys," so they boot it. Like, you know what I mean? So it was done so well. And then as that run-in's happening, they're setting up Survivor Series, but they're also still setting up their takeover. So Roddy comes out and starts beating up, like, you know what I mean? Like, it was done so well. They set up, because NXT has their back against the wall this weekend. They really do, because they have to go out on a go home show and promote War Games, but also promote them going in as a brand supremacy in another pay-per-view the next day.
Which is going to be weird, especially if they put bad guys and good guys in the same team.
And I think that's why I think some people would have been like, you were saying the AEW is a clearly better show. I think that's where I think a fan will be like, that's where NXT shined.
Well,
because that's not a go home show is not easy,
Well,
and they
let's
just
look
did
at
it for
it this
2
way.
shows in one night.
For the go home show tomorrow night, if NXT does not shine, it's going to take right away from your takeover, and it's going to take away from what you're expecting come Sunday.
I disagree.
Well, one thing, going back to what Andy said about, like, with NXT, like, baby faces and heels on the same side, one thing I think is going to make that a little bit easier, the Undisputed Era is not going to be in any of the Survivor Series matches because they're all in other matches. Cole's defending his title.
okay, that's it.
Roddy's going to be in the 3-way, and then the Red Dragon are going to be in the 3-way tag.
Here's the only issue, right? And I was saying this before we went on air. NXT is still very easily the best show out of Raw, SmackDown, NXT. NXT every week's the best show WWE has.
100%.
But
It's one of the best shows on the planet.
It's starting to muddy the waters where it's starting to feel like Raw and SmackDown feels. Before, when you used to watch NXT on the network, it felt something so different. It almost felt indie in a type of way.
For 1 hour yet.
Yeah, it felt 1 hour, and it felt
See, I
just
still get that feeling.
It always felt different. Now when you watch it, I don't know if it's because it's 2 hours. I don't know if it's because they've been having so many people from Raw and SmackDown on for the last 3 weeks, where it's like, what the hell is different right now? It feels like it's becoming a part of the machine, and that's what I didn't want to happen.
Yeah, because that's what everyone liked.
Yeah, and I knew when it was coming on USA, I knew this was going to happen because Vince can't help himself. Even if he's not have his foot in, he's going to be in people's ears like, well, it's got to be like Raw, and it's got to be like SmackDown. You can do what you want to do and have your guys.
Survivor
but-
Series, this is over.
Yeah,
This
I
is
hope
done.
so. I
This
hope.
is done and over with. after
The
Survivor
week before
Series.
this run-in starts happening, it was still had an old school feel. My opinion, and then the Survivor Series stuff is going, and I think once that's done, I think it goes back to and I still think it took stuff that would have never worked on Raw and SmackDown and made it work because it's NXT. NXT saved SmackDown that's 2 weeks
For sure.
you know, and it's making Raw more interesting. Like, NXT is showing why it is as good as it is because they're people are like, do I want to see Rusev and Lana shit, or do I want to see who's going to run in for NXT this week?
Yeah.
And that's what you want your show to do. And I think that's heavy attributed to why do I think because Seth Rollins and they said that the main roster guys are coming to NXT, that's why people tuned in? No, I don't. I think people are like,
Helped.
NXT,
I do. I think it definitely helped with the
NXT has been
the
going on
casuals.
their shows and been looking so fucking good that people are like, wait a second.
But it hasn't shown up in the ratings till this week. The last 2 weeks have been like just about where they've been in the 800, 900 mark, and or about in the 800 and less. And then this week now, since Triple H was like, oh, you never knew he was going to show up, then people were like, the casuals are like, oh shit.
Yeah,
like,
but the
Roman Reigns might show
the
up. Seth Rollins
casuals
might
are
show up.
never going to hear that interview with Seth with Triple H.
I think the main roster people had a big thing because the time they got really close and the time they beat them were the time that AJ Styles showed up and the time that everybody showed up.
Yeah.
Like those are the 2 times that they have gotten, first of all, within striking distance of AEW and then beat them.
Yeah,
Yep.
but do you think any of that attributes to NXT going on the main roster and doing a great job?
A little bit, but I think it's mainly the people
Yeah.
coming. And it's the angle. When you talk about ratings, angles will always beat matches
Yeah.
when it
True.
comes to ratings.
And
Angles
before
will always
we
beat
even get away
matches.
from the whole thing on Raw, because that Triple H promo happened at the end of Raw, that's why I was like, oh, well, we know NXT's going to get some sort of boost.
Mm-hmm.
Raw had so many dumb moments in it that really, I was like, man, I don't know if I can keep watching this show. Like, was that bad, where I was just like, gee, like the fact that Seth Rollins is facing Andrade, why are you even putting your spot as captain on the line? That doesn't make any sense.
Why would you want that?
A week before, that makes no sense. And if you're SmackDown, you're like, okay, we're gonna jump Seth because he's the captain. If you're so worried about Seth, attack Andrade, and then Seth's not in the match anymore. There you go, problem solved. Or if you just want to beat up Seth, you want to so you send the Lucha House Party. Those are the 3 guys who are gonna.
Yeah.
Dude, I thought they were becoming a stable. I was like, oh shit, they're helping, and I'm like, oh yeah, they're on SmackDown. Fucking goddamn it.
Yeah, why would you send those 3 people?
It made
Send
no
Roman.
sense. Yeah, exactly. Send Braun. Braun by himself could have beat up Seth.
I thought the same thing. I'm like, oh, the LWO's back. Oh, yeah.
Let's
they're
look
on
at it this
SmackDown.
way. We're 72 hours away from Survivor Series. There's so much that can go wrong between now and then that could compromise the pay-per-view.
I don't think it's going to be a bad pay-per-view.
Oh, I don't think so either. But
I don't give a shit about
I'm
the-
saying right now
Multi-man matches.
that I guarantee that the triple threat tag team match will be the best match on Sunday.
I think
don't.
the women's will be.
I don't.
The women's is up there.
Tyler,
What match do you think is gonna be the best?
triple threat tag team match.
I would have thought that with the Revival. Now with the New Day, it's a whole new dynamic. I think Strong, Nakamura, and Styles might be the best match.
I think it's
that's what I was
100%.
I think it's going to be the NXT title match.
I don't care about the elimination matches at all.
We don't know who's going to be in the NXT
yeah, we
title
don't know
match.
that yet.
It's probably going to be Pete Dunne because
It's going to be 100% Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Adam
I
Cole
don't
and
know.
Pete Dunne is going to be really
They're
good.
big on Damian Priest, and Vince probably has some say, "Oh, give me that guy. He's big."
Yeah, but I think you're going to go with the guy who is
Shinsuke and AJ is going to be fucking fire.
I think they're going to go with the guy who held the title for almost 2 years. I mean, you're going to hit a home run with that match, and
I don't think
even
it's
if
too
And
big.
Dunne and Cole have history with
Yeah.
working with each other. So if you just take what they've been doing on NXT and put
I mean,
on a big thing, people will be like, holy shit,
even
this
if
is good.
even if Pete Dunne goes down in this match, I guarantee they're going to put on at least a 15 to 20 minute
I think Adam Cole will retain.
Yeah.
you have this
he
whole,
should.
you have this
Should be
whole
good.
angle going on with Kevin Owens right now too.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to happen there.
Right now, I don't even think Kevin Owens is in the dynamic for what's going on.
Is he announced for anything at all?
He's a part of the Team Raw.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, that's another thing that doesn't make sense, right? Team
Does
Raw.
he cost Team Raw?
Team Raw is composed of 5
I don't
guys
think they'll do
who.
anything like that.
Team Raw is actually stacked full of dudes. Like, Team Raw looks really good on paper. Then you got SmackDown, and it's Roman Reigns, Baron Corbin, Braun Strowman, Shorty G, and Mustafa Ali. If you're picking a team of guys, you're putting Chad Gable. They're good wrestlers. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I like what they do in the ring. But come on, like, why isn't Kofi and Big E in that spot? This is before they won the belts. You
Yeah.
could have kept the Revival in that match they're already in, and just put Kofi and Big E in their spots. And there you go.
You have
know?
a champion and a big man.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you pick the best of the best?
Yeah.
It doesn't.
who's on Team
Kofi
Raw?
was just a champion for how long?
Yeah.
You know?
Team Raw is Owens, Rollins,
McIntyre,
McIntyre,
What's
Orton,
Orton,
What's-
Ricochet.
Ricochet.
What's Daniel Bryan doing?
He's
He's
wrestling
facing
Bray.
Bray.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too. The teams for NXT for the men and the women haven't been announced at all. So you have no idea who's on the 5-man
Yeah.
band team, and you have no idea who's the 5 women.
Could be Aaliyah captain in the women's
Well,
team.
we got the men. We have time here. Who do you think is going to be the 5 guys for NXT?
I think Ciampa will be the captain. Probably Balor, maybe. Ciampa, Balor, Keith Lee.
Well, Balor's fighting.
No, this is Survivor Series.
This is
for
Survivor
Series.
yeah.
Probably Keith Lee. I don't know. 'Cause
Jack.
do you want to have all
Pete
Team
Dunne?
Ciampa on the team? Like, is it all Team Ciampa plus Balor or something?
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't
see,
know.
that's
You
tough
know?
now because Pete Dunne would have been a great pick for that, but now you got him in the
Now he's
NXT
gonna
Do you
be
title
Adam
match.
Cole.
have, do you have Finn and then
Maybe
Riddle?
Killian Dane takes his
It
place?
might literally be Matt Riddle, Balor,
Yeah,
Ciampa,
on the
Lee,
sa-
and
and then,
Dijak.
like Matt Riddle and Finn just have this match and they're
And now they're in tag, yeah.
I think that Kevin Owens is going to be the 4th guy on Ciampa's team. I think he's going to flip from Team Raw to Team NXT. And I think that Andrade is going to wind up on Team Raw because they had that little mutual respect thing between Seth and Andrade after the match.
Yeah, I think this to be determined. I think can be Kevin. Owens.
So if you if you think to be determined wins, you write TBD. And you get the point, right?
I think TBD is Kevin Owens, and I think Kevin Owens joins the Undisputed Era.
Like I said in the chat, if it is Kevin Owens, you have to.
I mean, that's what I want.
Do we want to just go through the scorecards now while we're
Well,
on
real
this?
quick. AEW.
The only highlight to that entire Wednesday night, I thought, was the opening match. I thought that was the best match all night.
I thought the show up and down was really good.
I thought the show up
I
and
thought
down was great.
Yeah, the whole show was good.
The Jericho promo was good again with Scorpio Sky, made him a star, I thought.
That was
The whole
genius.
thing
It was
is like
genius.
with Melody Parker's going to go out there. I mean,
I-
I've seen her, and she gained a lot of weight since high school.
It
Like,
got a little
why would Jericho even know that?
It got a little silly with the rabbit season, duck season thing, I thought, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Where he's like, you better not tell him you
Yeah.
want. Don't,
Yeah.
don't you dare put the belt on.
You know
'cause
what?
Jericho will hurt you.
You're going to get it.
We shook hands.
You're going to get a title match.
And he
We
grabs
shook
his
hands.
hand. He's like, we shook hands. Yeah,
It's
amazing.
official.
That's where Jericho shines.
Yeah. And the
What
whole,
did he
like,
say?
This is my
Ixnay, the Erico J
Yeah.
championship, eh?
Yeah.
my favorite Chris Jericho ever was the WCW Cruiserweight Champion
Oh,
conspiracy
yeah, that was
victim.
so good.
And this is as close as Jericho has been to that since then.
I really liked.
Swagger saying sorry. That was
No,
great.
I like Jericho. I love the whole Jericho Owens thing from when they were friends to enemies, and then the finger spot.
When I seen that, I was like,
That
this
was
is the
great.
best shit he's ever done. And then he went and did the feud with Kenny. I'm like, this is the best shit he's ever done. Now it's like he's an AW. Like,
can't-
this is the best shit he's ever
Yeah,
done.
that's
Just
why he's
reinvents
amazing
himself.
because
Yeah.
he can keep doing it. He's at such a high level. It's insane.
I really like the fact they like the opening match when they announced that. Gold to me. I mean, Nick and Phoenix like,
Killed it. That was great.
Absolutely
fucking-
killed
that's-
it.
And I like the fact they split tag teams up and let them have their single shots
Yeah.
as well.
They
I
used to
think
do that with
that's
Ricky Morton back in the day. You get a
super
world title
smart.
shot.
I mean, there was a combo in there where
Nick could be a world champion if Matt ever decides his back hurts and he can't wrestle again.
Nick's clearly better in the
Nick
ring.
came
Oh,
in,
yeah,
hit
he's way
like
better.
the X Factor, jumped right back out, flipped back in, hit the Canadian Destroyer.
And Ray
And
Phoenix is amazing.
His
Yeah.
springboard Rana that Nick did, I never seen him do that before. I mean, I've seen Phoenix do that before, but that was pretty cool.
What's one thing I hope they beef up their tag team division more because a guy like Pentagon or a guy like Phoenix can be AEW
same-
world
yeah.
champion.
Oh yeah, they're gonna eventually have single runs for both of them.
I
Especially,
think it's gonna
especially
be-
Pentagon. He's definitely in their
Who
plan.
gets the shot at the belt first?
Pentagon.
Pentagon,
for sure.
yeah.
Pentagon.
Just because
Pentagon's gold.
he's so much more over.
He's gold.
But maybe if they bring in that mid card title like they were talking about, I could see Phoenix maybe jumping that
No,
title.
you know who's getting that? MJF's getting that belt.
yeah,
What, and they're going to build him up off the mid card title?
Probably.
yeah,
Yeah, I
which they
think
should.
so.
He can get it, and then Cody's like, I can't challenge for the world title, but I could take that from you.
Yeah.
Is what they can do
And
there.
then Cody could be a mid card guy and still kind of have a
But the
belt.
one thing I do enjoy about Phoenix is that no matter what happens, he does not deviate from his style in a match. He does not conform to what they want to see on TV. He goes out there and he throws his heart into his match.
He looks so stiff too, but it's awesome.
It's so funny because like for years since like Rey Mysterio's gotten older, every time there's like a luchador becomes famous, everyone's like, "Well, is he gonna be the next Rey Mysterio?" And Phoenix was the first guy where I'm like, he really could. I could see him being in WWE and succeeding and being like
Yeah.
a Rey Mysterio level guy because he's good in the ring and he speaks perfect English, which I didn't know about until I
Him
watched
and-
him eat.
yeah.
Him and
his brother
Pentagon.
speaks perfect English too.
Yeah.
He just chooses not to.
Which I think is
crazy.
smart. How many? All right, if he would have out and said no fear, it would have never caught.
Yeah, yeah.
If he goes and goes, Cero, I know Spanish now because of Pentagon. Like I remember, I used to watch Lucha Underground and slowly start understanding what they're saying.
They dub his promos.
Yeah. Like you start learning Spanish
Yeah.
watching Lucha Underground.
Yeah, the only thing with AEW
I worked with all. I'm sorry. Used to work with all Hispanic, like Mexican, Dominicans, and we used to all work on the dock, and we were all wrestling fans. And and it was funny because every time someone walked out of a trailer, they'd come out as a wrestling guy. All right, and they'd be like, "Yo, here's Pentagon." And then every time you look at each other, and like, at first everyone did the two sweet with each other, like, "Yo," down the dock, and then it'd be like. Like, yo, I'm like, yo, there's a whole bunch of stuff coming down. It's gonna get real busy. Let's hit it hard. And I'm like, yo, guys. And they'd be like, yo, we got this. And we go on the like it was just fun. Like it was somebody.
They
Yeah.
definitely won the trailer afterwards and were like, that white boy's a mark.
Yeah.
Gringo.
No, we were all we were all huge.
Little
marks.
did you know one of them was Pentagon.
Yeah.
Well, actually, there was a lady who worked in the dock with us, and her brother is Samu. That just got a transplant.
Okay, yeah.
That's her brother. Because we were start talking wrestling, and I was like, oh, and she goes, and the one guy's like said something. She goes, bro, I'm not Spanish, I'm Samoan. You fucking don't talk to me. And then I'm like, Samoan, like the wrestlers. And she looked at me, and then she left, and then she goes, come here, and she goes, what do you know about Samoan wrestling? What do you mean I know? Where do you want me to start? And she's like, my brother Samu. I was like, what? And he goes, yeah, he's at school in Allentown. My nephew is Lance and stuff. Like, that's awesome. Super, super nice woman.
The only catch with if Phoenix would ever go to WWE is I think he'd have to find a new finisher.
He never would.
I'm just saying if he does ever end up there, he'd have to find a new finisher because if Joe can't do the muscle buster, there's no way in hell they're going to let him do the Blackfire driver.
The beautiful thing about wrestling right now is no one has to go to WWE anymore to be
I forgot
successful.
to ask Adena that question. My question: where would you go?
Oh yeah, no one has to go there. Like that's
true.
not
No, you don't. Yeah.
like NXT guys. Like I know how you were saying before. Like where if they come calling, you have to go. I don't think you do. I think if a guy like
if Vince says you're under contract, you're coming
I
over,
think if
you're
Adam
going
Cole or Ciampa turned around and says, "Don't send me to Raw or SmackDown. I'm staying in NXT," and they say, "No, you're going." Cool. Then when my contract's up, I'm fucking out of here. They're gonna be like, all right, maybe stay
I
in
don't
NXT.
think so. Vince does not crumble.
cave
Vince doesn't
like
give a
that.
shit. Vince is like, all right, go on Raw, and for the 6 months you're on there. Now
You're going on Raw
I'm
and
going to
you're
bury
losing
you
everyone.
for
Yeah.
6 months.
Yeah.
And then when you leave, your whole shit is way worse now.
Yeah, that's how Vince is.
You can't bully Vince. It's impossible.
I think now wrestlers have leverage. Like
Vince doesn't care.
Like, all right, cool, my contract's up. I'll play ball.
Vince has already
not in
proved
WWE.
by
I will go
holding
to the
hostage
next-
about a dozen guys.
Yeah, hold me hostage because like there's 5 or 6 people right now whose contracts are up in March, right before WrestleMania, and 2 of them are champions, and one of them already said they don't want to be there anymore. They're the fucking Kairi Sane has openly said she's searching after this. She's done.
If I was her, I'd leave.
Yeah,
She can go back to Japan. She can go to
she
man.
may go in as a pirate princess to Tampa Bay's Buccaneer Stadium as a pirate and not be there, and she's a tag team champion. Asuka says she does not want to leave. Kairi Sane says I'm not digging it.
Well,
I can understand-
Stardom just got bought by the same people in New Japan, right? And they said they want Kairi Sane and Io Shirai back.
Yep.
Yeah, they want to have a big women's division, right?
Yeah.
In New Japan, which is
I
cool.
can understand Asuka not wanting to leave. She's up there in age. I'm pretty sure she's probably getting a good bit of money
They're an
being there.
age.
It's a-
36.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing with
Hey,
Nakamura.
Think about it.
Nakamura
Most
just
women
re-signed.
wrestlers don't usually make it beyond 30.
That's different times though.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what the whole NXT thing is, here's another thing too. It's never going to be, okay, everybody, if you're happy in NXT, just stay in NXT forever because they have to move on. So when the new signees come, they take their place. That's the way it's always been. Just because it's a third brand now doesn't mean, well, everybody stays on the same show forever because then it's become stale. If for another 2 years from now, we're still watching Adam Cole and Ciampa on NXT, people are going to pull their hair out because you can't just keep seeing the same feuds and the same matches
Yeah.
over and over and over.
I mean, they could be like 6-7 time NXT champions
yeah,
by the time this is
yeah,
all said and
exactly.
done.
It just,
Who's held the NXT title the most?
Nakamura and Joe are both tied for having 2 reigns each.
Yeah, and the tag team champions. I just don't want to see NXT become like what it has been, where these guys do amazing and then they go to main roster and they're dog shit.
Yeah.
Now, here's one thing that's baffled the shit out of me, and we've seen it before, and it's happening again. Fish and O'Reilly need a new damn finisher.
You know,
Because-
like, sure.
It
You know,
got
like the
so
total elimination?
stale.
It's total elimination. Yeah.
That's awesome.
No. Hear me out. It got so stale.
You also said that match sucked because it had too many near falls. You're on crack.
No.
That match was
I'm
amazing.
just talking
He didn't
about
say
the
it
finisher.
sucked. He just said there was too many.
Yeah, too many near
Too near
falls.
falls.
But the finisher, it got so stale to me real quick because you saw it for 400 and some odd days when the Ascension were the NXT champions.
Not a lot of people were watching NXT.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does not do nothing for me.
Yeah.
So.
Now, if they
I'm not
would go
tired
with
of
that super kick brainbuster as the finisher, I mean, I'd be all for
That's
that.
cool, but
So many people have kicked out
You
of that.
have to
though, that
realize
I
heel
wouldn't even
kick,
believe
They're
it.
small dudes. That move you can do on guy at any size.
What I loved is they busted out Power and Glory's
Yeah,
finisher.
yeah.
They did the Powerplex.
But just to see it over and over and how it, I'm like, this worked for
I want to go back to AEW here, though. But AEW, speaking of the tag team match, had an interesting botch. The Canadian Destroyer, and then the referee never got his foot pulled, but he was supposed to get his foot pulled. Did you see that spot?
And he
No,
just
I-
stopped, turned and looked at the guy behind him. What the hell are you doing?
LAX just makes me zone out because
LAX was supposed to grab the ref's foot on the 3.
Okay.
So the Canadian Destroyer was botched. It just didn't go over well. So it landed, and they went for and he goes 1, 2, and then the ref
Just stops and
stops and goes, "You're supposed to pull my foot," and the guy from LAX runs up like, "Oh." And
They need to sit down with the refs and say, you count to 3 no matter what.
yeah.
That's the
Because
rule
it at
of
least
thumb.
looks better.
That happened already before in AEW.
Yeah, with Hangman and Pac.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hangman Pac,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, rule of thumb: if you miss your spot, it's 1, 2, 3, and the
Yeah.
match is over.
It was rough. But the good thing about that match, Private Party did dedicate that
Yeah,
match
and
to.
then Excalibur,
did, yeah.
Excalibur talked a lot about Matt Travis, and they had the shirt and everything.
They
so that
hung
was
the
cool.
shirt on the ropes.
Yeah, it was
All
cool.
four of them came over. They touched the shirt, and then the only thing I didn't like is they tossed the shirt on the floor. Like, you could have left it propped up on the post or something.
Well, the one guy from
Wow.
LAX
Probably
was
would've
wearing it,
fell off
I
anyway.
think, or he was wearing a different one.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was
yeah.
wearing one
So
of
it
those
was
shirts.
really cool to see,
Most
that
because like
respect.
WWE didn't say nothing about him. You know, so like,
LAX was before they were even LAX. They were House of Glory guys. So
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's really cool. That
I
House of
think
Glory
they
got
said
love.
that LAX were the guys that actually brought Matt Travis into train to get him off the streets.
Yeah.
And that's where he
Their
met-
gimmick. Listen, both teams'
Private Party
gimmicks
met
don't
him.
do it for me.
Yeah, me
but I
too.
think both of them as performers, both teams are good.
yeah, they're good.
Yeah,
I
they
just-
both can put on good matches.
Private
was like,
Party
the-
has plenty of talent, but
I just zoned right out.
Yeah. I think because we see the Street Profits and then we see them, I think the blinds
Yeah.
get blurred. But that, like, dude, that dude's fucking that finisher they do is amazing. That
Oh yeah,
yeah,
the Ron, yeah,
the Ron
Frankenstein
and
or
Cutter.
something, yeah.
so
Yeah,
good.
it's
That is good stuff.
Yeah, it was a good match, man.
And then they
not
had
to
that-
mention it's a lot on the other guy coming off the Rana too to be like, okay, you have to be right here and just basically dead fish.
yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, the only thing on AEW didn't really do a lot for me was the Battle Royal, and MJF was great in it.
Yeah,
but everything
'cause-
else was kind of eh.
By
And
fa-
Billy Gunn made everybody else look like they were 12.
Yeah.
the funniest thing with that Battle Royal was the spot that Sonny Kiss is putting up. A
Oh,
lot.
yeah.
But the funniest part of the whole spot, if you really watch it, Orange Cassidy is standing in the corner, and Sonny starts twerking, and Orange Cassidy goes.
That's and I,
But you don't even notice it unless you're watching him in the background. He pulls his sunglasses down and watches him
when
twerk.
Sonny does that, and then Excalibur's like, you know what Billy Gunn likes. That's pretty funny.
Yeah,
And,
and
I
then
thought
he
it was
about
entertaining.
to-
It
and
wasn't
then he
like
was
a great
about
match,
to,
but
he
it
was
was
about to do
funny.
it back, and
Yeah.
MJF threw
Yeah.
him out.
Is
Yeah.
that a rip maybe at Billy and Chuck?
No, he's the ass man.
He's the
Mr.
ass
Ass.
man. And he was going to show his ass skills.
And I thought it was fun that they're actually kind of doing something with the Dark Order now too, with that little vignette.
Yeah, the
they're
vignette was-
Scientologists.
yeah.
I still,
join the Dark
I still say shit gimmick.
I don't know. I'll
It's
let
a
it grow.
shit gimmick,
I'll
but
let
I
it grow
like
on
that
me.
they're
but
doing something with
Yeah,
it.
at least
Like,
they're doing
And
it.
they're
Yeah.
good wrestlers
I mean,
too.
Yeah.
you can't exactly call yourself the Super Smash Bros. Without expecting
yeah.
a giant
They
lawsuit
could
with
have
cease and
did
desist.
something else.
Yeah. All right, and then Impact. I mean,
Oh no, we're not even talking about the main event yet.
Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
John Moxley versus Darby
I
Allin.
thought
That
that
was
was
a
very
good
good,
match.
yeah.
Darby Allin coming out in like the body bag and sitting up and zipping his
Yeah.
That was awesome. I was like, yeah, this is
And
badass.
that paradigm shift off the top or the second rope was awesome.
Yeah, that was-
he's,
that
he's,
was
a,
great.
he's legit psycho.
Yeah, I was like, Jesus
There's
Christ.
something wrong with him.
And his coffin drop into the choke.
Yeah, that was sweet. That was so cool. That was a good match.
When I seen that coffin drop onto a steel chair in a high school gym
Yeah.
for 15 people, I was like, this guy's a fucking nut.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing
He's gonna be a
is
starter.
Darby, I was getting to that. Darby Allin is so over right now that I don't think there's going to be a force in heaven that's going to keep him from being a top guy.
He
he's
got
definitely
choked
gonna
out
be.
at a party in front of the owners, and
No,
they're
that was
like,
Jimmy
That was
Havoc.
Jimmy
Oh,
Havoc.
that was
Jimmy
Jimmy
Havoc,
Havoc.
yeah.
Oh, I thought that was. Yeah, you're right.
Then Jimmy Havoc came out with that staple gun during the battle royal.
Jimmy Havoc's one of those guys. He's never going to get over because
No.
he's just
It's just a death match. I don't
hardcore
like him at
street-
all.
And he's with the Billy Gunn. I'm like, yeah, there's no staples in that.
Yeah.
Billy Gunn's not taking staples.
Yeah.
It's nothing against Jimmy Havoc, but your gimmick sucks.
Yeah, his gimmick sucks, especially when you're in a company where you have two guys who do it better than you. Where
Yeah.
Darby Allin can do that, but he can actually wrestle,
And he looks
and
good.
Joey Janela can do that, but
Yeah.
he can also wrestle, and you
And-
can't wrestle. Like, that's all
Yeah,
you can
and
do.
can't talk.
Yeah,
It's
it's like-
you want to promote yourself as like a king of fucking deathmatch guy. Moxley before he was in anything, he was like a god of it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He was so it's tough. It's tough for him to put that over without.
I mean,
still
I'd
being
love to see
gross.
Moxley and Janela in a 60-minute hellfest.
After watching Janela Omega, I'll watch Janela in anything. I never took him seriously until that match.
I'm not digging this feud with him and Sean Spears at all.
Yeah,
though.
me
But it's
either.
more Spears.
It seems
I just
like they're
don't
going to move
care.
him to Kip Sabian eventually because of the whole Penelope
Spears,
Ford thing.
Spears has a great look. Everything about Spears should be like, this guy's amazing. He doesn't do it for
No,
me.
me either. That's why he never got pushed into WWE. I guess he's okay.
The 10 thing got over, and then it got stale.
The only thing I'm interested in is that Tully
Well, no.
Blanchard's a good manager.
Yeah.
The 10
That's
thing
about
was
it.
over, and they had an opportunity to make him over, but Vince didn't like the 10 count crowns and kicked him off TV
Yeah.
for no reason. So then by the time he came back, it was like, well, what do we do with him now? There was no spot for him.
How about AEW giving Janela the okay to host the next spring break?
It's cool. I'm glad.
Muda's going to be there too.
Yeah, Muda. All right, so we got Impact. I didn't get a chance to watch
Didn't
it,
watch
but
it.
we'll
It's
just
still on my DVR.
We'll just do the main thing for now. Tessa's the number one contender.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah,
It was a really good match. I was a little surprised because I don't know why. I just assumed it was a 6-man match because it didn't have Gauntlet anywhere in the title. It wasn't
look,
called
that's
the
what I
Gauntlet match,
thought.
nothing like that. So I'm like, oh, it's going to be a 6-way. But then it was a Gauntlet match, so I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But
Well, if you go back to TNA, like back in the day, a gauntlet, they would call a gauntlet, then would be like a Royal Rumble.
yeah. But it was good. It started off with who started off? Moose and Daga. And then Moose beat Daga. Then Rich Swann came out. Rich Swann took a beating, but he ended up rolling him up winning. And then it was Rich Swann and Michael Elgin. Elgin beat the piss out of him, but couldn't put him away. And then he got more frustrated till the point he grabbed the chair and hit Rich Swann with the chair, which I was like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
If you're trying to
I think
become a
Impact does
contender?
really well at storytelling in the ring.
Yeah. So then Rich Swann was like, his ribs got busted from the chair, so he was like spitting up all this blood. And then Brian Cage got in the ring, and Brian Cage was like, dude, I don't want to hurt you, but like I gotta win. So then Rich Swann almost rolled him up and beat him, and Brian Cage was like, all right, fuck this, I'm taking you, beat him like real quick.
I'm killing you.
Yeah.
quick.
Drill
So then
ball.
the finals was him and Tessa, and the whole match was about like Brian Cage being like, I don't want to hurt you, Tessa, but like I don't know what to do here. So then Tessa was like, no, fight me. So then Tessa busted open his lip, and then Cage was like, all right, let's go. You know,
Now you must die.
What'd she do to win that?
it was like a roll up.
There was a.
I mean,
Well, she does a
her
DDT for
finishing with
finisher,
that
so-
top rope magnum. I mean, you could
She hit him with
Brian Cage
that twice, and both times he kicked out like at 2.5. So she was like, Jesus Christ! But it was a good
She
match.
could have hit her hammerlock DDT, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for her just to like hit a code breaker off the top rope like that, I mean,
It's awesome.
No offense, but a dude like Brian Cage, I don't care if you take 2 knees to the face like that. That should be enough to put a.
That's actually one of the first one that happened is what busted him open because he had like a cut in his lip and like it was split real bad, and I was like, oh shit.
Dude, Tessa's a beast.
There was some promotion. It's not around anymore. Called Wrestle Circus, and they did a thing where their main event for one of their shows was Tessa and Brian Cage, but it was a role thing, a little different. Brian Cage was a heel, Tessa was the babyface. Amazing match. I don't know if the company's out of business. I don't know if their Twitch is still up or not, but they used to do live streams on Twitch.
Well, that
Amazing
DVD
match.
that we got in our pro wrestling crate with Tessa versus Mercedes Martinez in a 60-woman Iron Man match.
60
I gotta,
man,
I gotta
not a
watch
60
that.
woman.
That's cool.
Yeah,
60-minute.
60-minute
yeah.
Iron Woman match. Sorry, yeah.
now we get Tessa and Callahan, and if this is anything like Slammiversary, we're in for a treat.
Yeah.
And then last two things I want to get into, and then we'll do our War Games card. Tony Deppen going against Orange Cassidy for PWG.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Awesome. It makes me chuckle because I'm like,
Dude, how-
Deppen's super serious with his character, but it's hilarious. And then you got Orange
he
Cassidy.
does a lot of goofy stuff. too.
Yeah.
I can see this happening. Like the lethal strikes of Orange Cassidy. I can see Tony Deppen selling the shit out of it. Like,
Tony
and
Deppen
Tony
now
just-
is now going to go against 2 AEW main eventers.
Yeah, because he wrestled Pentagon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This could
Crazy.
be big for him.
apparently
For sure.
Pentagon gave him high praise after that match as
Yes.
well.
Well, PWG likes when they're bringing them back. So, I mean, the longer
Yeah.
PWG, the more people see you.
Yeah,
That's great.
and it's he keeps doing what he's doing. AEW Dark is not out of his realm.
AEW is not out of his realm.
no.
I mean, but like just getting a match on Dark just to see how he does, and then move.
Yeah.
You know, what I mean, like it can happen for the guy, which is awesome. So super happy. And the last thing I want to do is I just want to. We did it on Not Cool in High School because we are not no episode next week for Thanksgiving. So we won't be here next week.
I mean, we
but-
could just sit here and eat turkey around the table.
No, we will not be doing that. But a little Thanksgiving thing. What have you guys been thankful for? I mean, we have a lot to be thankful for as wrestling fans now.
Well-
I mean, besides the fact that wrestling's on every single day of the week.
Well, let's be thankful first of all for a 1-year anniversary.
Yeah, you did it. I was going to segue that in a minute, but thank you. 1 year anniversary of Tornado Tag that we're officially have done this a year.
I mean, different
about it?
table, different people, but 1 year nonetheless, and
Yeah.
we're still here.
You get emotional? Yeah.
And he's going to get up and cry.
And he needs a tissue.
But yeah, 1 year doing this.
still real to him, damn it.
We have 3 original guys still with myself, Andy, and Dave. We did it a round table. We still have a Tyler, but it's a different Tyler.
Upgrade.
I mean, we're not sitting against the back wall anymore.
No, we were against that. We were here. The table was
Yeah,
here.
that's right. We were here, and then we were over there, and
There we go.
then I'm pretty sure we were kind of angled off this way a little bit.
We did a lot of different things.
We tried about 5 or 6
Evolve.
different table scenarios until we agreed, okay, we're just going to sit in the middle of your floor here and
Yeah.
piss Heidi off because now she can't walk through the kitchen for
We got
3 hours.
new cameras, new microphones. I mean, a lot has changed in a year.
New
which I'm happy-
soundboards.
Yeah, we're doing a lot. We're doing call-in guests now with wrestlers. You know what I mean? That's cool.
Now, I don't want to get anybody's hopes up, but I have been talking to somebody, and it could be big.
Okay.
All right.
I don't want to. I don't want to.
That's like me
say
saying,
it's a definite.
guys, I bought something. Well, something.
It's
And
not
it
a
might
definite,
be.
but it might happen.
Well, there's. I'll without saying it. There's some stuff that is in the pipeline for us as well.
I mean, it's a call-in. It's definitely a call-in because it'll be a long-distance flight, but.
Yeah, we have some stuff in the works as well. We're working on stuff. There's stuff to look forward to in the future with the show.
Okada's calling in everyone's.
Yeah. So I just want the
We
biggest
don't
thing.
want Okada.
The biggest thing besides
You don't want Okada?
Yeah, the
Why?
biggest because he's weird. I've never watched an Okada match, and I still wouldn't turn on a call.
It'd just be interesting because he speaks
thank
English.
Yeah, he speaks Japanese.
Thank
Yeah.
you for having me. Andy's the only one who speaks fluent enough
Something
Japanese.
enough,
I know
yeah.
enough to get me
Some.
by, and Andy knows just enough to get him
Well,
by.
Okada
so.
does know enough English to get by. He's
Yeah.
actually done interviews with like Dave Meltzer.
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. But the first thing, I mean, obviously, besides the obvious of just wrestling being amazing now, it's just I just want to thank for you guys. You know, it's not easy to take time out of your day every week to come and do this and put the work that you've been putting in on the Facebook page. So I'm super thankful for the teams. Like the whole network is just doing really well in general, and I'm thankful for you guys. I mean, Andy, you come here twice a week,
Yeah.
which is awesome. I super appreciate it. When I first had Andy, I was like, all right, I'll get him on one episode, and I'll be happy. And then he's here twice a
love
week
that.
every week, which I'm thankful for, man. Like it's out of your way. It's fun. You do your own podcast, you know.
Yeah.
So you joining us has been a great addition. So I'm looking forward to doing a lot more with you guys. It's a lot of fun, and that's what I'm thankful for. But what do you got?
I'm thankful for the fact that, I was on another podcast with you. It kind of went to the shits.
It did. 7 episodes
Yeah.
deep.
And
what was that one again? It's like it's on the tip.
It was
of my
called
tongue.
the Wu Nation. With
It was
Ric
called
Flair.
Wool Nation, yeah.
yeah.
Wu-Tang.
It was called the Meathead Factory, but I'm glad that I got the transfer over from that to this because I was trying to get on this for a long time, you know.
That's what she said.
Yeah, that's what she said. And it all worked out, so I appreciate it. I'm glad you guys welcomed me to the team, and it's been fun.
Yeah. Brian?
I'm thankfully rediscovered independent wrestling this year because it's been a while, and it's always it's such a unique thing, and it's so much fun these last couple weeks to have people like Adena and Deshaun Pratt and everybody else, Drew Adams,
Great
and
calling from Amasis.
yeah, okay, love this. But no, everybody, Trajan, all of them, like it's Brad, yeah. Yeah, and Vox, whatever you want to call him, Tony.
Fox Vinyls.
Paul Bowe was awesome. But no, it's always good to kind of have them and Andy here every week, definitely. But just because it's such a unique thing and it is such a everybody sees WWE, AEW now, but if you haven't had a chance to get to like an indie show, it's a completely different feel, it's a completely different aesthetic, it's a completely different vibe, and it's a lot of fun, and it's always good to kind of get back into that and do more with it.
Yeah. Jared put a interesting post up on Facebook.
Jared from Outbreak.
From Outbreak.
I
Said
haven't seen it.
He said something about I'm not dying.
Yeah, apparently, I guess some people thought he was dead. I guess
Yeah.
no one could get a contact with him.
Yeah, but I guess he's pretty much saying what he's going through
It's over, I guess.
maybe has passed or
Yeah.
has taken a turn for the good. So maybe he's in a better place.
I mean, there's nothing scheduled for right now for Outbreak, but hopefully.
Let's hope not. 'cause-
Hopefully in the new year, I think that's what we're going to look forward to is maybe the Outbreak group chat will pick up again and
Yeah, man.
see what happens there.
Listen, there's a lot of Outbreak guys that I miss not seeing. I miss seeing. You know what I mean? DB Kraft, Ed House. You know what I mean?
I think right about now, it's usually this is about time we take our winter break. We come back, what about
There would have been a show
February,
last weekend,
Saturday?
right? Yeah, last
Yeah.
Saturday.
Because last Saturday was the birthday party that got canceled.
I need some Ed House in my life. I need some ball. I need some.
I'm sure I can
need
get
some
Ed House.
captain. I need some
We can
captain.
get Ed House
yeah,
here.
I mean, I got. There's a lot of people I want to see in the Outbreak universe. I hope
Yeah,
that
they're
comes back.
doing
But
pretty
I
good,
think
so.
right now with this would have been the break till the weather passes, so about February, March, maybe in late January the group chat will pick up again and see where we're at.
Hope, yeah.
I hope so. I like that promotion. But what are you thankful for?
I'm just thankful for the opportunity to be here. I mean, I had a lot going on between Balance and Outbreak, some stuff I had going on outside here. You guys know what I'm going through. But just to have this kind of a platform to come take my mind off everything and kind of help me mellow out again.
Yeah, Andy.
Same thing I said at their show. I'm just happy that the pro wrestling boom is going on.
Yeah.
And that everyone's getting jobs. Who knows what it'll look like in 1 year.
Hashtag header to AEW.
Yeah, anywhere.
Yeah,
We gotta get.
Hashtag header anywhere.
I don't want to go WWE, though.
What's this NWA thing called?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, did you see that thing where you can
circling
send the
square?
video down?
Yeah, absolutely. Gotta get we gotta get
I
your
don't
name by
have
10.
I don't have a good promo though, like to send.
Hashtag header to CZW.
Yeah.
maybe. Well, here's what we'll do.
We gotta get you a
pass
promo
on that one.
You gotta get you a promo, Andy.
Yeah,
what
I
we're
need a
gonna do.
promo. I
I'm
have
gonna-
the match.
We have a great camera
Yeah.
right there.
I can definitely shoot a
But-
good promo for you.
I would say like I can't just like It would have to be, I think, one with feeling like for a match.
Yeah.
Where there was a storyline would be better rather than me just like, I'm the best.
Yeah.
Blah, you know,
well,
like,
here's the thing. I
don't know.
I think
I don't
we
know what
should
to send
take,
to 'em.
we should take more time to talk about NWA Power, and I take fault for that
Yeah.
because I don't watch it, so I don't.
It's
segue.
fantastic.
I
This
don't
episode
segue
was
so
into
easy to watch. It's only an hour.
Jim,
like, it's
Jim
like,
Cornette's thing
Can
aside,
somebody fill
this
me in
episode
on
was
how to
really
watch
good.
it?
Yeah.
watch on
YouTube.
YouTube.
That's pretty much what
Yep,
I've
just
gathered.
type
is
in
like,
NWA
That's it,
Power.
yeah.
That's it,
So
yep.
this weekend, I'm going to try to make it a point to try to catch up on the episodes this
Even if
Sunday.
you just watched the current one, episode 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then because I know they will use your footage if you plug them.
Yeah, if you plug
Yeah.
them enough,
Yeah.
you could get lucky and get this shit used.
Yeah,
That's cool.
post wrestling they had that. It was like this camera set,
Yep.
and they were talking, and they showed it on the beginning because they had this little countdown to NWA Power coming on.
Yeah.
the question
like-
mark versus the exclamation
Yeah,
point.
and
There we
it's
go.
not. It's a good show. Like,
Yeah.
if it was the shits, and
What I want is I want Blue and Gold against the question mark and Tony Falk
there we go, Tony Falk
feel
in a
like
Paducah street
from
fight.
Paducah, Kentucky. We got,
dude,
We're growing
waffles
baby
and
faces.
time.
We're growing
Yeah.
heels.
How about Andy Hitter versus Colt Cabana?
I would. Yeah, I thought I was gonna get the PBW one time, and I didn't get it.
Really?
No, no,
Same
like,
house,
like,
man.
like, legit. If I could put Andy in with anybody in NWA Power now, I think it'd probably be Ricky Starks.
Yeah,
That's- I
Ricky
was-
Stark,
yeah.
Stroke Daddy. He's cool.
I was like,
It's
man,
fun.
I could be there today and have a feud with him. I just come out. I'll cut the promo. Jesus.
Yeah. All right. So
I'd love to be there.
This is for Pro Wrestling Scorecards. You can go to ProWrestlingScorecards.com. This takeover is going to be sponsored by Lapel. Yeah. This is a lot of fun. We have a lot of good times doing this. So this is our Pro Wrestling Scorecards for Takeover War Games. We're going to get right into it here because we are running a little bit longer. We're still good, but we
So,
can't.
There's only one match that I think 100% Finn's gonna win, but the other ones, I don't know.
All right, so first one we got
So anyway.
the four
Female
first, the
war games.
female war games. We'll just say Team Ripley versus Team Baszler.
I have
I'm
Team
kind of
Baszler.
leaning to the good guys.
I'm leaning Baszler.
I'm
Team
leaning Baszler as well.
Yeah, I would also do Team Baszler. So we'll just say Team B. Team B is going to be Team Baszler.
I put Team Shane on my
Or
sheet.
good and bad.
that works.
Yeah.
Who do you guys think will be the starter of Team Ripley?
Tegan Knox.
Tegan Knox.
I have Mia Yim.
I agree
Tegan
with
Knox
Knox.
is so hot. I just wanna-
Team Baszler starter. I would go with Ray.
I want Bianca Belair.
EO.
I went EO.
You want Io to start? Wow.
You put the worker in first.
Yeah, you always
That's
put
how
the
you do it
worker
War
in
Games.
first.
I mean, I think that could be Bianca Belair. Is all.
I can
It's
see
EO.
her.
I think she's going
It's
to be the
EO.
power. I think her and Ripley will be the power of the team. They're coming when like the team's down and they start throwing people
I'm
around.
gonna
I think Baszler's going to save herself for the very end.
So do I.
mean,
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
gonna-
yeah. She's gonna be Flair.
Yeah. Fall type. Now that's the way the whole thing ends.
Submission.
Yeah. Now I have a problem with
shit,
that
I'm
because
actually
War
meant to
Games
put
should be. They don't do it in
have to
NXT.
be-
Yeah, yeah.
You can
So,
win by pin.
Back in the day,
It should be.
you couldn't
pinfall
pin.
only.
You had to give up.
Submission or surrender was how you won.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, then they're doing submission to bring that back.
Now in an
Yeah,
NXT
that's
War
right.
Games, you can do pin, submission, or with the NXT ones, they don't put a roof on the cage.
There's no escape the cage though.
If you go out of the cage, you lose.
Yeah.
If somebody leaves the cage from your team, you lose.
You lose, yeah, which is crazy.
which is a great.
it's a great incentive.
You can
not
do
to
like
leave.
battle royal spots at the top of the cage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
I
But
miss
that
the
always
roof,
makes
though.
me think: why the hell did they all climb on top of the cage? Like why
Yeah.
even risk it? I'd be
Yeah,
like, fuck
yeah.
that. I'm not
see,
going
one thing though I would love to see is kind of like a big wrench in that is if somebody would climb up to the top of the cage with like people on the outside of the cage fighting,
No.
and somebody just gives them the off the cage.
Well, in the last years, the Undisputed Era kept trying to throw everybody,
Yeah.
anybody that was face that was on top of the cage. They tried to push them off.
No,
like, get the
there's
fuck out
no
of there,
roof on
but-
this one, right?
and
No.
Ricochet,
Oh,
had,
okay.
Ricochet had the best moment last year in War Games, that
yeah.
double moonsault.
But yeah, if somebody leaves the cage, their team automatically loses. Is how they get around that. But they have no roof, so people can do like dives off the cage and shit. I think it's going to be a submission, or like more specifically, either like a submission or a pass out, like a technical submission.
yeah, I think it'll be submission.
The only thing I didn't really care for last year and the year before is how they were rotating like which ring you use. Like, okay, first match
Well, they
is in
always
the
do
left
that.
ring, next match
Yeah,
is
but
in the right
this is
ring.
what the thing that NXT does that NWA didn't. The action is either in this ring or this ring. It never the old school War Games. There was action everywhere. There was the main thing, but it was always like when there's something going on in this ring, everyone kind of just sells. And then in NXT,
They're so used to that from three-way
Yeah,
matches.
Oh,
it's
no,
like-
no, I'm talking about the singles matches.
Well,
how
no, they
it's-
would always do that because you don't want to shortchange anybody in the front row.
That would they tighten up the ropes and stuff. Yeah.
Plus, with this, there's only going to be two matches that aren't War Games, so it's you can just
Yeah.
do one in one ring, one in
Which
the
is
other.
weird. I figured they would add Leo Rush versus
What's his name?
Angel Garza
yeah.
because they had a good match. It didn't end clean, so I figured that would get added to this card. But
It could.
It
You know
could
how
the
they
day
do with
of,
that
you know,
subject
yeah.
to change with the card because if these two matches go over way too fast,
Well, I think
okay, we need something to fill 15 minutes. Go.
The
go
two
do
War
this.
Games matches are going to go really long. Though.
Yeah.
This is going to be at least 45 and
So I
45.
I picked the good girls. So Team Ripley.
I mean, 45 and 45 sounds respectable for both War Games matches. I mean, I could see the men going longer than the women.
Yeah.
And I say Kaylee Ray gets pinned at the end.
I have Shayna making the fall.
Yes.
I have Rhea.
I have Shayna making the fall.
Shayna chokes out Candace.
I have her choking out Nox.
I have her choking out Knots, and it's not on here, but I think Dakota Kai is going to turn.
Me too.
Oh, okay,
Yep,
yeah.
same thing I think. Yep.
Yeah. Aerial moves, I have a 6.
Unscheduled.
I also have 6.
I have 4, but I
put
really
9.
I put 5.
You're gonna get that EO moonsault off the top.
You're going to
Yeah.
get the Io moonsault. You're
Move
going to
from
get
top of the
Candice
cage,
LeRae
yes.
with the...
I didn't even think about Candace.
what's
She's
her
gonna do
move
some
called?
shit.
The world's best.
Moonsault?
No,
Or no,
Candice does something.
She does something. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I put 5
Candace
aerial
will
moves.
Miss
end up
LeRae's Wild Ride or something like
Did
that.
anybody say no to the move off the top of the cage?
No, I did not.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, no.
You know what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Then
All
we'll
right.
get Undisputed Era versus Team Ciampa.
Okay, so if you think that TBA is going, like, if you think it's Kevin Owens and you think he's going to win, you just write TBA.
TBA, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Or TBD rather.
All right,
So
but
I think
got,
Undisputed.
I don't know.
I think Undisputed Era wins.
I got Team Ciampa.
I have Team Ciampa.
I have Team Ciampa.
This is either way for me.
I say Ciampa wins because I think the Here's what I want. I want TBD to be Kevin Owens, and I want him to cost Team Ciampa. And join.
I think it is going to be Kevin Owens, but I don't think he's going to cost Team Ciampa.
I think so. I have Bobby as the starter,
As do I.
I have Roddy.
and then I have
That's a good one. Yeah.
I have Team Ciampa starter as
what if
Dijak.
I have
To be
Dijak and I have
determined.
Roddy.
I have Keith Lee.
I have Bobby Fish and Keith Lee.
I have a pin with
I have
Cole
pin.
making the
I've-
pin on Ciampa.
I have
even
a, I have a
but
pin.
Ciampa
Okay.
pins Cole.
Yeah, me too. I
So
have Ciampa
so
pins Cole.
obviously to be determined is the last person to come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have 13 near falls.
I have 7.
7.
I have 8.
I always go low, and NXT always jacks me up. And
Weapon
then
types, I'm going to go 4 because usually they
I
try
said
not to
4
drag
too.
too much
I
shit in the
say
ring.
3.
I put 3 as well.
Yeah.
Because last year you had what? A ladder, a table, 2 chairs.
A chain.
Tons of tables. There was tables everywhere.
Well, yeah, but that's still only one weapon.
Yeah. Matt Riddle versus Finn. I have Finn.
Finn.
Pin.
Do we
Yeah.
see the
I'm
demon?
picking
Finn.
Finn.
No.
No demon.
Not bad guy Finn. You'll never
No.
see bad demon.
Finn with the pin. 12 near falls. 21-minute match time.
Pin, 8 near falls, 18 minutes.
See, I went a little high. I originally had 22, but then I changed it to 24. And I only feel like it's going to go a little bit long because there's only 4 matches, so I feel like all 4 will get a bunch of good time.
Yeah. And then you got Dunn, Killian, Damian. I have Pete Dunn winning by pin.
Same.
Over Dane.
Same here.
I have Damian Priest.
I have Damian Priest as well.
25-minute match.
22.
No weapons
I have
used.
22.
No outside interference.
I gotta go with
Same
David
thing.
Priest too because I think
you
Vince.
got to remember they changed the rules now for their triple threats. Is now that anything goes.
I don't think they use weapons.
I do.
Yeah, I think they
Killian
saved that for War
Killian
Games.
Dane's going to bring something into that ring.
Yeah.
There's no way in hell he's not.
I think they're going to save all the Gaga and stuff for War Games.
I think.
Yeah, that's smart.
I don't think there's any weapons.
I say yes to the weapons, but no to the outside interference because there's no real need for the outside
Yeah.
interference in this match.
Now,
the only
unscheduled,
person I
this
could
is-
see getting involved would possibly be Tyler Bate with a bone to pick. With
He's
Killian
the
Dane.
only one, yeah. My unscheduled, really, mine looks. I really didn't know, so
We might
mine's
all have
kinda
the
all over
same.
map.
I have
Put
Dakota
Steve-
Kai,
put Steve
Regal,
Regal.
Triple H, Tyler Bate, and Johnny Gargano.
I have Triple H, William Regal. I have Dakota Kai. I have Leo Rush just in case they actually have that match, and then I have John Morrison because I still think he might be the TBD.
Okay, yeah. That's, yeah.
So I have KO, Triple H, HBK, Bate. and
Oh
then-
yeah, HBK.
And then maybe
I think you'll see Johnny Gargano in the crowd turn on his wife.
I'll go Johnny.
But does any Raw or SmackDown people run in? I hope not.
Wait,
I hope not.
Johnny NXT.
Johnny NXT. All right, for Dunn.
Johnny Yellow Ropes. My unscheduled Owens, Dakota Kai, Isaiah Scott, Johnny Gargano, and possibly in a crowd shot, Scarlett Bordeaux.
Oh yeah,
That's not a bad call.
Not a bad one at all.
She was already in that backstage segment.
Yeah.
gonna-
So,
I'm gonna
how are
write
we doing
Kushida.
Sunday? We just going to do the texting again?
Yeah. So what we'll do is I'll
Hey, this
send.
time Tony's going to put it in the chat.
Yeah.
so-
because where is your belt, Tony? Are you ashamed to wear it because you
I
know
just
you
don't
cheated?
pull it out. I didn't cheat.
Yeah,
I did not. I swear,
he knows it belongs
I
to me.
swear to God, I did not cheat.
I want to recount.
I'll bring one. They have the toy ones.
But the anyway,
I still don't know who's going to win the
Survivor
If we could
Series
do
is
a
going to
Bri-
be
if we could do
really
a-
hard to pick.
if we could do what Brian did, if you can just edit it and kind of type it in
How
there.
do you do that? 'Cause
Yeah, I
was
don't know.
trying
I
to-
have no idea how to do that.
I screenshotted it and I tried to edit. It would not let me
I
edit.
copy the image, I put it in MS Paint, and I just put in like the different. I just type it in.
That's going to be too much work for me, so I'm not doing that.
Unfortunately,
What kind of phone do you have?
An iPhone.
A Galaxy? Oh, I see. Galaxy, you can just hit edit and type it in.
Yeah.
So just write it to me. Just make sure you have everything in there because the last time you
Yeah,
guys missed
yeah,
something.
well,
sure.
I missed the.
Unscheduled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I just go like, shit, I forgot about that.
Yeah. All right. So that'll wrap it up for here. Thank you guys so much. Check out our unboxing video. It's a quick one, 10 minutes. It's the Pro Wrestling Tees. I'm actually wearing this shirt now. Hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, IWEP Network on Instagram, Facebook, Tornado Tag Podcast. Thank you once again to Adena. We were supposed to have another call in tonight, but he didn't get back to me right away.
Fuck him. No,
We were supposed to have Steven call in from the Smart Mark.
Oh, okay.
He loves NXT and he's doing his own podcast now called The Duke's Dive, that you can go check out, and he just covers all NXT because that's his thing. So go check that out. The only other thing I have real quick is news wise I just remembered was NXT supposedly 2K20 got another patch that's supposed to improve the game. I don't know
Still
if
looks like
Apparently, the
garbage.
patch for the PC, if you put in a new patch for the PC, it deletes everything you have saved.
Oh.
And people are like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Like, it's already bad enough the game is broke. Now the shit I just did is
Yeah.
deleted.
I say just wait for 2K20.
And
or
if you
21.
actually did a lot of that stuff, which was probably not easy because some of those things were hard to do because it was so glitched, and then you have to do it again.
Oh my god, I'd snap.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you guys so much. Any quick plugs, Andy? Shows. Dave?
I got nothing.
I was going to say, who's selling Bellinis in Pottsville somewhere?
Nothing
It's on the hat. Murder My Dude. Just look up Murder My Dude on the podcasting. We covered BTK this week.
Oh, cool.
Which was a lot of fun.
I'm still 2 behind. I'm on the Cheesefoot episode.
the who?
It's the
Cheesefoot.
cheese board killer. But
Oh,
I call
chessboard.
Yeah,
Cheesecake,
I
you
call
said.
I
What
call
the
it I call it the Cheesefoot episode.
Wednesday, Bad Maggie out at the American Hose in Tamaqua.
This Saturday is going to be a show here in Frackville at the lodge or at the Elks or whatever the hell it is. I don't know.
Oh no, aren't they doing?
The Amvents or whatever it is. I don't know what the venue is.
Isn't Tyler and a couple of them doing a show at?
And also they're doing one at
Black Diamond.
too.
And by the way, unlike these slackers here, there will be a new Murder My Dude on Thanksgiving Day.
Whoa,
We
how
are
about
wrong
that?
with you?
How about that?
We are not recording it on Thanksgiving
Oh, I was
Day.
gonna say.
he's gonna record on Tuesday. So yeah, if you're driving home from Thanksgiving and you want to listen to a nice episode on the way home,
What better after Thanksgiving dinner than to hear about murderers and killers?
Well, I don't know.
and-
You know you're going to think
Usually
about killing
food
your
coma
family for
sets
those
in
42
by then.
hours. So.
Yeah.
Food coma sets in by then. Usually nap ensues, and then the late game of football.
the last thing I want to quick it out there for my Tyler, what do we got? Sorry.
All Things Wrestling on Facebook and houseofglory.net.
I got 2 shows, possibly a third. I'm going to find out officially Monday if it's a thing. We're doing a Toys for Tots benefit, so it'll be December 13th. It's still a little way out, but 2 venues officially right now, Hot Rod and Strikers. Strikers are going to be Gas Station Disco is the headliner for that one, and a bunch of bands underneath. You can go check out Hands Resist and Sterling Koch and Evening Social, and then Hot Rod is going to be Adrenaline, Handguns, and To Be Determined for To Be Announced, another band. I have a band set list all ready
Is it
to
the
go.
same to be determined? That's going to be an
Yeah, it might be
It's going to be Kevin Owens.
It'll be Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens.
It's going to be Elias.
Bobby
coming
Fish. what's his name?
Kyle O'Reilly.
Kyle O'Reilly's going to play the belt in front of everybody.
Elias will get booed off stage in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Elias. Shut up.
Kevin from Bad Maggie hits him with a guitar.
They're going to throw non-violent toys at him.
Plush toys.
Yeah, and then I have a whole nother band lineup, set list, everything ready to go for the third venue.
If they commit.
If they commit, yeah. The venue is debating if they're going to do a change from music entertainment to a restaurant. I told them, please don't do that because everyone likes to see bands at your place, so please don't do that. So they're going to find out how this weekend goes and then determine.
I've seen something about that.
Yeah.
I think they are going to do a restaurant.
Yeah.
They've already
Eventually.
If we're talking about the same place, I think we're talking about. I'm pretty sure they're already slinging food out of it.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they may or may not want to do music there anymore.
Yeah, which is understandable.
Well, if they're thinking,
If after hours though, it shouldn't matter.
that's where I'm hoping we're going to be okay.
I think eventually they're just going to be like they close at 9.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a straight restaurant.
Food's not at 9.
If they're leaning towards becoming a shit restaurant, they'll probably start closing early.
That's what I think. But you know who else is doing a Troy Drive?
Oh.
True Wrestling in Berwick, Pennsylvania at the Salvation Army this
Yeah.
Saturday.
Go support them.
Yeah, me and
this an
Matt
Andy
Turner will be
Header or-
wrestling there. So yeah,
Blue and gold, baby.
Yeah, we don't know who we're wrestling yet, but we're wrestling there. And then the main event is, was it Trajan defending the title against somebody? I forget, because he's the true
The exclamation point.
Yeah, I should look it up. I wish it was the exclamation point. So it should be a good show.
The revolting blob.
That was a wheeze. You had a wheeze in there. That was a long ass wheeze.
Yeah.
But that'll do it for us. Thank you guys so much. Tornado Tag Podcast. We're out.
Hey, too sweet to 1 year.
Too sweet. 1 year, boys.
Whoa.
Too sweet.
You got to do what's the one the Bull Club does? When they go like,
They come up.
yeah.
The killer bunny rabbit.
All right. I gotta go upstairs and get money up. Heidi, quick.
Take a piss.